that and then notified my office, and we started an investigation.
11 players are charged with unlawful imprisonment. There was drama at a Pirates baseball game last night in Pittsburgh. A fan fell from the right field bleachers down onto the field 21 feet. Medical crews rushed over. Players knelt on the field. He's in critical condition this morning. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
What's coming up next? Mostly cloudy and 66 degrees in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Storms rolled through Indiana on Wednesday.
We did have quite a few severe storms down in south central and southwestern Indiana. The worst of the storms produced hail a little over golf ball size down near Lagodi.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says more rain is possible across the next few days. There were a couple tornado warnings issued on Wednesday night. Some are pushing back against Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith's comments about the 3/5 compromise, the clause that counted 3 out of every 5 enslaved people toward a state's population for congressional seats. Governor Mike Braun says he would not have described it the way Beckwith did.
I'm a believer that you better start thinking about what you're saying before it comes out.
Beckwith responded to Braun's comments.
I don't work for Governor Braun. I work for the people of Indiana, and they're so fed up with this woke mind virus that has been taking over their children and children's children for the last 50 years.
The Purpose of Life Ministries announced they'll hold a press conference on Friday to address Beckwith's comments. Indiana gas is now at $3.21 a gallon on average, according to Gas Buddy. That is up 17 cents from where it was on Monday. A library is normally a quiet place, but not Wednesday in Seymour. Chris Davis reports one man's in custody after a call about a shooting at the Jackson County Library around noon.
Sergeant Stephen Wheelis says a person at the library on the second floor where the shooter made his way is responsible for actually holding him.
Just a patron of the library approached him and was able to tackle him and to hold him there until police officers arrived.
The person who was hurt was hit by flying glass and was the circulation attendant at the desk. The suspect is 18-year-old Emiliano Cuevas Bravo of Seymour, charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Ivy Tech Community College's next president will be Martin Polio. He's currently the superintendent of Jefferson County Public Schools in Louisville, Kentucky, and was selected to be Ivy Tech's 10th leader. He succeeds former Lieutenant Governor Sue Ellspermann, who has served as the college president for nearly a decade. Polio takes over July 1st. With traffic now, here's Matt Bear.
Westbound 70 into the north split. That is a crash blocking the left shoulder at the top of the flyover ramp. The ramp is open and no delay at the moment. Also on the east side, looking at northbound 465. Stop and go traffic after Penn Pike up to East 56th Street. Then delay going to start closer to I-70. Southbound 465 after East 56th Street. Crash reported. It's on the shoulder. Southbound 69 up in Fisher. Stop and go traffic before State Road 37. Traffic sponsored by True Green. Summer is better with True Green. Get a lawn you'll love for less than you think. Don't wait. Sign up for TrueGreen.com and get 75% off your first treatment. Restrictions apply. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now,
get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators. Up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 6195, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers good through May 31st, 2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Sundown Gardens, Hamilton County Spring Nursery Headquarters.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cloudy skies with isolated to scattered showers and storms through the day, a high of 73. Scattered showers for the evening, tapering off overnight, a low of 58. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 9:06, time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, I got an idea.
What's that, Rob?
It's a big idea.
Oh, good. I like big ideas.
It's a bold idea.
We're going to be able to execute this big, bold idea?
It may be the most controversial idea we've ever had on this radio program.
Okay, that's saying something.
Stay with me now. Are you ready? Don't just immediately react, which you tend to do sometimes.
Yeah.
You tend to just fly off the handle.
I know. I'm so unreasonable.
Asking you and our tens of thousands of people hearing our voice right now, just hear me out on this.
Okay.
I think we should give Braun one more chance.
What?
I told you. See,
No,
I gave
yourself.
I gave you very basic instructions, and I thought we were all speaking the same language.
Give Mike Braun, our governor, one more chance.
Just hear me out on this, okay? All right. So he had this. What was this event that he had yesterday? Some sort of super insider, no dissent. It was like the Politburo got together. It was like, remember when the people used to keep clapping for Stalin, and the first person to stop clapping disappeared from not only the existence of the humans around them, but all photos and everything. I remember those, like Saddam Hussein used to do this too. This came off as one of those sort of events yesterday. It literally was some sort of super insider
Thankathon? It was an event to celebrate Governor Mike Braun's first 100 days in office.
Oh, but it wasn't like, hey, public at large, come and have some cake and celebrate how great your life is because, well, everybody hates the guy, and rightfully so.
Ticketed event?
Did
you have to pay to get in?
It literally was, cabinet level and the reps, the senators, I mean, it was super, it was what you'd think about in some of these, Banana Republic type
It's not constituent based.
No. And so he's, of course, trying to rally everybody on what a great 100 days that he had. And I heard from people that were in there, and obviously the media came and covered it. And I'm watching this, and I'm starting to feel bad for Braun.
Oh.
Because he seemed very old and very tired.
Isn't guilt part of that emotional blackmail, which we discussed earlier in the week?
Now, we can get into this in a second, Case. I'm just telling you. Hear me.
Seeping into your thoughts?
Hear me out on this.
I felt bad.
You cannot just discard the elderly. We can't just
This is true.
No matter how the elderly may have wronged us,
we do want to take care of our seniors.
We cannot just disregard a feeble, tired old senior who clearly got in over his head. And watching him talk or hearing the audio of him talk and reading the news accounts, he is clearly looking for some sort of exit ramp or someone to save him, especially as it relates to the property taxes.
And he's going to look to you.
Well, I don't know. No, I'm sure the last person. Braun, look to the radio show. Stop listening to the people around you. These are the people who have screwed you. Who loved you, baby? Who treated you better than anybody else? Us, this show, our people. Remember the good times when the 1,000 people were there chanting, fight, fight, fight.
The good times?
What's the animal?
Yeah. Do you remember what happened after that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You listen to the wrong people.
Short-term memory?
You listen to the wrong people. So here's what I think we should do, Casey. We should give the governor some very just direct advice here. And I think our audience, if the governor were willing to listen to our advice, because they're just, kind, forgiving people, would be willing to give him one more chance. And all the hate and all the did you see? So he posted, and this is what sparked me really to say we got to have this conversation today. So he posted on social media something about this event, right? Like it was a great event and 100 days and I'm doing this and that and blah, 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 blah. The comments, Casey, were the hate in these comments.
Yeah.
It was worse than Holcomb during COVID.
Yeah. People are not happy with him right now. And he even said during that thing that his goal in next session is to work on property tax relief.
And nobody believes that. It's not going to happen. The General Assembly, unless some crony capitalist donor buddy needs some special favor, are not going to re-engage in property taxes. Braun already admitted he doesn't have the ballular area to force them to do anything. So why would they do something they don't want to do? Nobody believes that. But here is how Braun... So, I mean, it's clear, right? Like, he's getting tons of hate. You can see it in real time. The fact that who knows how much money he spent running ads trying to tell the populace how great the thing is, and everybody tells him to crawl in a hole and die, basically. That's not working.
Well,
so isn't this like an acknowledgement of him saying, we're going to do property taxes again next year? That they're acknowledging, we see how angry you are.
Mm-hmm. He said in 100 days, we've made tremendous progress on the freedom and opportunity agenda. Cutting taxes.
Which ones, Mike? Which ones did we cut?
Uh-huh. And he went on to list a few other things, making state government more efficient, transparent, and accountable to work harder for you. And you're right, the comments, your citizens are hurting. So disappointing. Taxes went up, not down. Only a fool is buying what you're selling now. My taxes didn't get cut. Mine went up. It's just and on
so
and on and on.
So here's what I think we should do to be the better people.
We're finished with you.
I think we should offer Braun one more chance.
Okay.
Because here's the thing.
Look at you being a big person.
It goes against every fiber of my being. But I saw this feeble, elderly old man yesterday, and I thought, this is horrible.
Do you need to take a shower? Are you feeling icky?
I care about the old people, Casey. What can I say? I hated seeing this yesterday. This is basically elder abuse at this point.
I care about Hoosiers,
well,
and so should he.
All right, so here's what I think we should do. Braun, look. Nothing starts until July 1st. You've still got 2 months to try to fix this. It's going to be May.
Yeah.
Today is May the 1st.
May 1st.
You got 2 months. If in 2 months everything gets wiped clean, start over.
Yeah.
It's like Scrooge just being visited by the ghosts, right? I'll change. So here's what I think Braun should do. And this is really because nobody believes he's going to do property taxes next year. Nobody believes their taxes are going down. Everybody knows. I mean, IndyStar just did a big article talking to these mayors who said everything directly but we're going to raise your local income taxes. I mean, there was a big expose on that. Now, they're not going to straight up say it yet. They're going to try to do it under cover of darkness, but they said everything but saying it. And everybody knows that anyway. Braun can still stop all of this. If I were Braun, and you want to actually have some chance of salvaging your next 3 years and getting your base back to where at least they don't hate you. They may not like you, but at least, I mean, this is rage. Like, you're seeing that these people are raging on something. And it's not like it's 2 people. It's over and over. I don't even know what the comment number is on that thread now, but it was like I had to stop reading it. It was so much. I mean, I was laughing hysterically throughout the comments, but I had to stop reading it. He can fix this and at least limit the level to which people despise him. If he were to come out and say, look, I tried to do this. I tried to fix this. I wanted to believe it. But based on the General Assembly, they've already opened the door for you, Braun. Chris Jeter admitted in that Capital Chronicle article, they have no idea what that business personal property tax thing is going to do, which is why they delayed it. They opened the door for you, Braun. They wouldn't have a leg to stand on either. They've already admitted it's crap and they don't know what it does. If Braun came out tomorrow and said, look, I have tried. I've heard from the people. I am calling for a special session for the sole purpose of repealing Senate Bill 1 and then instructing the legislature for the next 2 months to work forward off of what we have heard from the people. So the first step is we're going to repeal Senate Bill 1, and then we're going to spend the next 2 months, we have until July 1st, that's when laws take effect in the state of Indiana, to fix this issue. And if we can't, then we will scrap it. We'll keep the current system in place for another year, and we will spend the next year working this thing out.
Start over.
People would be pissed that it isn't fixed to the level Braun promised. Which, by the way, in that State Affairs article, he's back on this. We knew that was never going to. This is the problem ever wanting to feel sympathetic for Braun.
Right.
Was it Tom Davies wrote the article in State Affairs?
Yeah, he said that the negotiations went through the meat grinder of legislation.
But didn't he say in there, I knew I was never going to get what I asked for in one of these quotes? Didn't I? Did I not see that? That in the I'm going to pull this story up here because I'm certain I saw him say in the quotes in there somewhere that he didn't believe he was ever going to get, which he's alluded to that anyway. It's not like that was some sort of breaking news.
He did say that when you're pissing off people on each end of the spectrum and most in between say that it was a solid package, you don't ever rest upon your laurels when there's a big issue out there. That means that there may be more work to do. So he understands that people are upset with him.
No, but here's the quote, Casey.
Yeah.
Braun indicated to reporters Wednesday that he accepted the deal he could get with legislators, saying, quote, I knew we weren't going to get all of that. Casey, on March the 17th, 2025, down the street from us at 200 West Washington Street, was I suffering from some sort of fever dream when Mike Braun got in front of all those people, rolled up his... At any point did he say, no, we're not going to get all of this?
Well, he did say in his State of the State address or his inauguration, we're going to give it one good shot.
But on March the 17th,
yeah, he rolled up his sleeves.
And did he at any point say, no, we're not going to get all of what I...
No, he didn't say that.
Okay, so Braun...
He said he was a fighter.
Against all, and I'm going to give him until Monday to accept or decline this offer.
He admitted in this article when you're pissing off people on each end of the spectrum, he knows people are mad.
So I'm going to give Braun, I think Braun, we should give him until Monday. We should call off the dogs until Monday. Give him time to think about this. One more chance. You've clearly heard from all the people. The legislators have admitted they don't know what the bill does and it sucks. You have every moral and political high ground to just come out and say the thing. People will... Well, they won't forgive you. They won't be nearly as mad as they are now. And call the special session and demand they veto it. And if they want to stand on it, then okay. That seems fair, right?
This is the one more chance you're giving him.
That's right. One more chance. One more chance. This is fair, right? So let's see. That's today, Friday, Monday. We'll give him until 5 p.m. Monday. And then we'll say, look, we tried everything we possibly could. That seems fair, right?
Yeah, that seems fair.
Very good.
Okay.
Can we talk about what he said about...
More things that he said? He said more things than this.
Yes.
Yeah. He talked about a lot of stuff, and we'll get to that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Another update is just minutes away.
First 100 days.
A revolution of common sense. 25% tariffs on foreign aluminum and steel. It's keeping our steel mills going.
He's acting like a king.
Hear the news.
The Indiana Pacers delivered in a big way.
Here comes Halliburton. He lays it in!
Fought back to win the game in overtime.
As events happen,
10th person identified.
we'll happen to be there.
Serial killer Herb Baumeister.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 317-516-6861 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. 317-516-6861 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 317-516-6861 for fast, easy, affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 317-516-6861.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
May 13th to 15th, Indy welcomes the Sweets and Snacks Expo, North America's largest candy and snacks event. 1,000 leading candy and snack companies will debut their latest and best-selling products alongside world-class education and standout events like Happy Hour at Gainbridge Fieldhouse and a live Indy 500 practice session. Retailers and distributors, register now and get 25% off at sweetsandsnacks.com/Indy. This is an industry event. If you're a fan of candy and snacks, you'll have to wait for the latest sweets and snacks to hit shelves.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Have recent storms caused damage to your roofing or siding? Cochran Exteriors is now offering free inspections to assess the condition of your home, from blown-offs to full replacements. Cochran Exteriors knows the insurance process and will make your home as good as new as fast as possible. Trust a company that was here before the storm and will be long after. For your free, no-obligation consultation, schedule today at CochranExteriors.com or call 317-ROOFING. Cochran Exteriors, referred for a reason for over 15 years.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Mother's Day's almost here. Sundown Gardens is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundowngardens.com.
That's good stuff. Look. The YouTube chat is spot on with this, but it's not going to happen about wanting Braun to implement the Rob Kendall property tax plan.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we put together that, you produced that very fabulous video.
Mm-hmm.
I put minimal effort in. I mean, it's all in the file cabinet for me. Just
You wore a suit or a jacket that day.
Yeah, I wore a jacket with a tie. And, you know, I mean, I dug deep into this vast vault inside my brain and pulled out a bulletproof plan to fix the issue if you actually wanted to fix the property taxes. And so we're talking, if you missed the opening segment, Braun had this big 100-day Politburo thankathon.
Celebration.
Right. And, of course, they didn't want the public to be there. It was just all his cronies and cabinet people and the reps and
cabinet
the senators
members,
and
lawmakers,
statewide
lobbyists.
People. You know, it's like, I think I saw Diego there sitting in the front row, and it's like, why didn't Braun just look at him and go, who paid for your trip to India? Seriously.
That was your
you're
chance.
laughing, but like everybody.
You could walk down the hall and say that.
But he could have done it in front of all the news.
Right.
He was sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you just look at him and go, hey, you.
Hey, by the way.
Who paid for your trip to India?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he didn't want to do that. And look, Braun said some really interesting things about Mike, and we'll get to that here in a second. But what you're finding is, and this is the lesson of this legislative session, and I've seen a lot of people comment on this, and eyes are open to this, and I think people who were otherwise previously not motivated, which is the legislature can do whatever they want, whenever they want. And look at how they ended the property tax bill. At the very end of session, in the dead of night, they just said, well, we're delaying this, or we're removing that. They know your taxes are going to go up. The mayors are admitting it in this IndyStar article. Not that they needed that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But did they touch any of that? Did they put a freeze on the ability to raise lit? Did they say, well, you probably can't do that? Well, let's make it so they can't do it until 2030, right? No, they're fine with screwing you. Braun and the General Assembly had every opportunity in the closing hours of session, as they've proven. They could have scrapped the whole thing. They could have made changes. They could have made delays, which they did. They just picked the things they wanted, and the things they wanted were the veterans, rightfully so, disabled vets got mouthy with them because they were going to screw them over.
Well, it was worse for them.
And they knew the media storm would be just unbearable if they screwed over the disabled vets, so they had to fix that. And because people like Chris Jeter, who are totally establishment and entrenched in the establishment community up there in Fishers, got barked at by the mayors and the school district, they said, well, let's delay the personal property tax exemption for a year. And that quote in Capitol Chronicle sounds like they're going to look to not even do it next year. If they don't do that personal property tax exemption, that means this total bill was probably between $200 and $300 million in savings for a state of 7 million people. Let's do math, shall we? What is, Casey? Can you, on your cellular telephone, let's just aim it high, okay? In a state of 7 million people, can you take, let's say they got $300 million in savings without the business personal property tax exemption. Take 300 and divide it by 7. What's the number?
300 million divided by 7?
Million. No, just take 300 and divide it by 7.
Oh, okay.
What is 300 divided by 7?
42. 42.
42 is the number. That's 40. They saved you $42. $42 a person. Boy, I hope they didn't injure themselves doing that, Casey.
Well, according to Evan McMahon, who's the chair of the Libertarian Party of Indiana, who finally decided to weigh in on this, said you're going to save 82 cents a day. Evan's a nice guy. And this was actually an interesting article. Evan's a pretty smart guy, and when he speaks, he doesn't speak a lot, but when he does, he is very articulate in a lot of his thoughts. He made a great point. One of the things that's going to happen now, if you live in a rural area, you're about to get really screwed because of these communities recognizing the major revenue source now that'll be available to us is through LIT, local income taxes. They are now you're going to see a sprint on annexations to bring as many people into these communities as they possibly can. Why? Because they want the income tax. They want the local income tax. And so you're going to see, and I didn't even think about this until he wrote this in the Indy Star, which is absolutely right, that these cities and towns are going to try to grow as much as they possibly can to gobble up as much of this income tax as they possibly can. On top of it, yep. Double whammy.
And that's amazing that Evan McMahon, the head of the Libertarian Party, can think of that. But Jeff Thompson, the smartest guy in the State House, the head of Ways and Means, he didn't think about that at all.
Right.
So this comes back to our point, which is, Braun, you can still save yourself. And I want to call off the dogs, and we'll call a truce. It's like the Ukraine and the Russians, right? We can't undo what has been done, but we can work together in a better way going forward. And the better way is for you to announce, this sucks. We know it sucks. We tried. I wanted to believe. Well, I'm calling a special session for the intent of repealing this plan, and then we'll spend the next 2 months in the sunshine working together for a plan that works for everyone. You can still do it, Mike. You can still do it. We don't want to see you go out this way. We want you to succeed. We want you to thrive. All right. So what? Braun finally, in the most weak way possible, said he'd had enough of Micah? Is that what happened?
He just went short of making him apologize.
You ever notice how Braun is the worst tough guy ever, where he'll say, he's pissed, but he just won't say the things he wants to say?
Yeah.
It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But he is pissed at Micah. Shall we talk about what he said?
Yeah, let's do that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It might have made your phone go off. You've got a cloudy sky and it's 66 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm Chand Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:31. There were a couple of tornado warnings in southern Indiana Wednesday night.
Everything kind of weakened as it moved up to the I-70 corridor. So while there were thunderstorms around Indianapolis, we didn't really get much severe weather here locally, thankfully, last night.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service says surveyors are out looking at possible storm damage today. Moore says periodic rain is supposed to fall across Indiana through at least Monday. Initial jobless claims are up more than expected. The Labor Department saying this morning that first-time claims jumped 18,000 to 241,000 for the week ending in April 26th. That's 17,000 more than analysts had forecast. A woman recognized as the oldest person in the world has died at the age of 116. Sister Ina Canabaro Lucas died Wednesday in Brazil. Her death was announced by the Congregation of Teresian Sisters of Brazil, who called hers a life of dedication and devotion. The mantle of the world's oldest person now passes to Englishwoman Ethel Caterham, who's 115. She's the last surviving subject of King Edward VII. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. So far, the Dow is up 180 points to 40,849. The S&P 500 is also up 48 points, 5,617. And the NASDAQ is up 347 points to 17,793. I'm Chand Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Oh, man, I think it'd be super cool to go to Symphony on the Prairie and check out Tusk, which is the Fleetwood Mac tribute band. And if you're a AAA member, you get big savings on those summer night concerts. 20% off tickets to any show. AAA, saving you money on outdoor music and vacations.
Going to Symphony on the Prairie? Always fun. Same with going on vacation. And AAA members, you save when you have a AAA membership. You get vacation discounts, hotels, rental cars, and even complimentary travel planning. Plus, if you're running into trouble out on the road, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, lock your keys in the car, whatever. AAA is there 24/7, 365, no matter where your travels take you. So do yourself a favor. Join AAA today or buy somebody you love a membership. Visit AAA.com or give them a call at 844-GO. AAA GO, or stop by any AAA office.
Spring is here, and Dammons is full speed ahead with endless plant production of perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, roses, and planters. Trucks are arriving with fresh trees and shrubs. Dammons' friendly staff is ready to assist you and get you the help you need. So for any of your gardening needs, experience Dammons South on Emerson Avenue and Dammons West on Rockville Road.
Dammons Lawn and Garden, Indiana's most complete garden center.
As our loved ones age, ensuring their safety at home becomes a top priority. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I'll be right back with some practical things you can do to reduce the possibility of a fall or injury.
Cardon and Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Removing tripping hazards such as rugs and floor clutter is one way to prevent or minimize falls around the home. Another is to position grab bars in the restroom and other common areas where your loved one may need some extra support. Contact your local area agency on aging to inquire about low-cost or free installation services. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
You know, Mother's Day is coming up on May 11th, and high-quality fine jewelry doesn't have to come with a high price tag. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg is changing the game with prices up to 70% lower than what you're going to find in those big-name jewelry stores and also those strip mall jewelry stores. They have brand-name watches, stunning fine jewelry, even custom designs. So go browse their expanded selection in a cozy, charming setting of their 1888 farmhouse. Why would you pay more when you can get the best for less for mom? Visit PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg today. Check them out at pajewelers.jewelry or call 317-456-4010.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling.
a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
I think the governor may have finally had enough of his lieutenant governor. I'm here for all of this, by the way.
Yeah.
But before I get into that, did you see that fan that fell at the ball game last night?
Yeah, that Pirates-Cubs game. He was in the grandstand section.
Yeah. So
he's in critical condition.
He's still alive, which is great. And by the way, those first responders on the scene, I mean, a lot of people probably seen this. So the Cubs and Pirates were playing at the Pirates Stadium in Pittsburgh, PNC. There's a play going on. And there's actually video of this. Obviously, everybody has phones. It wasn't intentional, but the camera, just somebody's cellular phone just happened to be on this guy. And look, it is the weirdest fall I've ever seen. I'm sure he didn't, but from the distance, the video is being shot from like behind home plate.
Right,
the
across
guy's
the
in the
field.
outfield, so it's hard to see. The people are little. But from the angle the guy shot, and I'm sure this did not happen, but it looks like the guy was catapulted out of his seat or jumped out of his seat over the railing. Again, I'm sure that didn't happen. It's just the way the video looks. He obviously tumbles over this 20-plus foot cement wall, falls on the field.
Yep. Another fan jumped down from a lower section and got on the field to help him.
Yeah, I mean, the players see this. The people in the dugout see this immediately. They're waving to the umpires and stuff to stop the game. The players look very shook up that were on the field. They stop the game for 10 minutes. They rush out. They get him on the board. It looks like they're doing some sort of resuscitative procedure on him. You can't really see while he's on the cart. Now, it's my understanding he's still alive. He had a skull fracture. And everybody should pray for this person. But that was it was incredible that it was caught on camera, and you can see this guy just laying there lifeless on the ball field.
Yeah, and now you've got all the Pirates players posting, their prayers for him and thinking about him and everything.
Yeah, and I don't know what the answer to this is because, this is, I mean, it's happened multiple times over the past 10 or 15 years that people have fallen at football games or baseball games. You got to be aware of your surroundings, and there's got to be some level of personal responsibility, right? This guy was not thrown onto the field. He did something that caused him to go over the ball. There was not like he was trying to catch a home run ball. There was not a fly ball out that way or whatever. But even if there is a foul ball hit to you or a home run ball, you've got it as an adult. This was not a child. You've got to take some level of personal responsibility for where you're at and what you're doing, and especially if you're going to consume alcohol. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Well, you just got to wonder, was he having some sort of medical incident before he fell? And that's why he fell.
I'm sure it'll all come out because obviously the Pirates, I mean, aside from the guy's life, they've got to be concerned about any sort of legal exposure, et cetera. But man, boy, that's just a crazy thing that got caught on camera, and hopefully this guy ends up being all right. All right, something that's not all right is the governor and lieutenant governor. The governor at his little Politburo convention yesterday, bragging about the 100 days in which he was just lambasted on social media. And that is insulting, right? People are angry at you. People aren't buying that this tax plan helps them. You raise taxes to balance the budget or to finalize the budget. And for you to come out and talk about lowering taxes, what taxes were lowered?
And that's the first thing that he mentioned in this social media post. In 100 days, we've made tremendous progress on the freedom and opportunity agenda. Cutting taxes.
Which taxes were cut?
Right.
I mean, I would love to have that conversation with him. I think I'm going to see him May the 5th at an event, so maybe I'll ask him, because it's my understanding you can ask questions.
Yeah.
What taxes did you cut? And I would love for him to look at me in front of a room full of people and say he cut property taxes. I'd love to have that conversation with him.
A little Q&A with the governor.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll be, maybe I won't be called on. But my point is, nobody believes, especially when you factor in the income tax increases that are coming, that you cut taxes with that. The state income tax cut, which is a fraction of a percent, depends on the state growing at a certain level. Well, that didn't happen. And based on this budget, it's not going to happen. So you won't get that. And the taxes did go up to finalize the budget, and everybody knows it. So what taxes, Mr. Governor, did you cut?
Did you see the picture that he posted? He was out in the Circle yesterday. They were kicking off the 500 Festival.
And you desperately wanted us to go over there and start causing trouble.
I did
and
not.
I said, we're not going to do that, Casey.
I did not. We were on the opposite side of the Circle. And the thing that I noticed is he was out there, and so the lieutenant governor was also out there. But the lieutenant governor is not in the picture that he put on social media.
Well, he's clearly had enough of the lieutenant governor. And
putting a little distance between the two.
Look, if you're Braun, and it's hard to blame him, he didn't want this guy to begin with, and he didn't pick him, and he's been basically just a colossal pain in his butt, and has garnered all sorts of media headlines, and now this thing with the 3/5 compromise. By the way, one of the things we have heard time and again, and Micah, stop fighting with the media on social media. Stop fighting with James Briggs. Stop fighting with Caitlin Lang. Stop it. You look ridiculous. Stop. You are the lieutenant governor. You lieutenant govern, and they comment on what you do. That's the way this operation works. You look ridiculous when you keep saying you don't care, but then you're like Glenn Close with the boiling pot of water on the stove.
I will not be ignored. So they have a mission, it seems like, especially Indy Star, to take him down,
yes,
right?
They don't like you. You knew that when you signed up for the job.
And without him, they have no headlines. Like every other day, it's a article about Micah Beckwith. So why does he continue to engage with them?
The only logical thing is he enjoys the attention.
Yeah.
Which comes back to the thing that we talked about, Casey, that he would rather be, it seems like, a pundit or a Charlie Kirk or a Matt Gaetz type guy on television podcasts, which he'd be great at. Micah would be excellent at that. It's not nearly as easy as I think he thinks it is, but he is a great speaker. He's wildly entertaining. He's not very good right now at being lieutenant governor because your job is to govern. It's in the name. It's in the name. And none of this stuff that he's doing remotely helps him govern, including that thing he said about the 3/5 compromise. So he keeps trying to blame this on the liberal media, and one of the things I don't think he recognizes is there's a lot of people on his side that are not happy with him, and we're going to have one of those people on, who is black, by the way. Curtis Hill's going to be with us at 10:06 to talk about this, about how he really thinks Micah made a serious mistake, and he's not very happy with him. But anyway, Braun so this 3/5 compromise thing where Micah does this video about how, hey, the 3/5 compromise, which defined slaves as not counting as much as, unslaved people. Basically, black people didn't count as much as white people in the foundation of the country, how this wasn't that bad of a thing, and the Democrats are being ridiculous. He does this video, and of course, everybody's super upset about it, or many people are super upset about it. And it's just created a bunch of unneeded headaches for Braun. And we were like, why? If you're Braun. And we said before, the video was, the content of the video is not ridiculous, but it's that he did the video after the vote had already been cast. His side had already won the debate and discussion, and it came off as him wanting attention.
He wasn't able to debate it on the Senate floor, so he had to give his opinion.
And it's just created a bunch of headaches for everybody because if the goal is to govern, the governing had already been won. And so now Braun, finally, a week later, whatever that's been, finally said something about this, and here's what he had to say.
I definitely wouldn't have used that characterization, and I don't like it. I'm I'm a believer that you better start thinking about what you're saying before it comes out. So I'll leave it at that. I think that you don't want to make headlines the wrong way because it takes away from the substance of what you're trying to do in general. So that'll be the end of my comment on it.
And as we said, by the way, did he ever make that video about taxes in the budget, taxes going up in the budget that he promised us he was going to do?
No, I didn't see anything.
This is the point. It's not that he has an opinion on the 3/5 compromise. Reasonable people can disagree on both sides of the aisle with this and have a great discussion about it. Nobody thinks Mike is a racist. Nobody thinks he hates black people. He's very genuine in his belief that the 3/5 compromise helped end slavery. However, he's a smart guy. He knows there are many people that are going to be enraged needlessly because they weren't paying any attention to any of this. Some Democrat makes a comment on the Senate floor, and then it's out of sight, out of mind, and they voted on the thing, and it's done. He made this a thing. He brought all the feelings to the surface. He brought the attention to the surface. It wasn't like Indy Star was pounding on this. They may have covered the thing, and then it's done. He has done this, and rightfully so. If you're Braun, not that we have any sympathy for Braun over here, it would piss you off because here's this guy.
It's taking attention away from other things.
Right. Now, maybe Braun is happy that people are talking about him. I don't know. But, boy, what a dumpster fire over there.
So Braun stopped short of demanding an apology. Others have done so. They have asked him to apologize, and Mike said he's not going to do it.
And that's fine. You don't have to apologize. Stop talking. Just stop talking, period. You can't claim to be offended by the coverage or the people commenting on it when you are the person on social media who keeps driving the thing and making sure people see it, which comes back to he seems to want to be in our job, Casey, more than his job. And we had jokingly, this is crazy how the world works. We had jokingly said the other day, like, why don't we just switch positions? I will show you, Micah, how to run your office. For a day, we'll switch positions. There's movies about this, right? We're trading places.
Freaky Friday.
Right, exactly. There's all sorts of movies about this where people trade places. I'll show you how to run your office for a day. And because you're so great at fighting with people, and you, by the way, he said our audience can kick rocks, and he doesn't need them anymore. You can come in here for a day and do the show with Casey and tell...
Is he going to do the template?
He's got to do the show the way we do the show, right? He's got to participate in the show. He doesn't just come in here and get the glory. He's got to participate. And I'll go do his job as lieutenant governor for a day.
Yeah.
And we'll do the switcheroo, and then we'll report back. And we said that, but then that took off.
I
Now
think
people
that
want
could
it
be
to
really
happen.
beneficial for both of you.
People are saying, well, we want this to happen. So I thought, well, I'll leave it up to the people. If you really would love to see Micah and I switch jobs for a day.
Freaky Friday.
Call the hotline, 317-684-8444, 317-684-8444, at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, at Casey Daniels 317 on Twitter. What's Micah's handle on Twitter? What is he? Is it at the Micah Beckwith? Is that it?
And then you've got Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith.
And then we'll switch jobs for a day.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's worth exploring.
I mean, I said it as a joke, but we got the phone calls about it. There's Kloffenstein, by the way. I wonder what he's doing. He's probably up to no good. Anyway, I'll entertain it. It was just a joke when I put it out there, but I thought maybe now we need to prove a point, and we'll just do the thing for a day.
They're going to give you a day where they've cleared his calendar. Yes, you can have this day.
I have some ideas.
Do
on how to
you?
better run the office.
Do you?
I do. But we'll see where it goes. Maybe nobody's actually interested in this. Maybe it was a one-time thing. Maybe it was just a group of people who are very passionate in that moment, and people think it's the dumbest thing ever. But I'm open to it.
Okay.
I think
the old switcheroo.
I think we could teach him quite a bit about how to run the office in one day.
Take your friend to work day. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 3 o'clock this afternoon. Rob Kendall's going to flip out and go off the rails. The biggest stories in Indy and a whole lot of fun. 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower, future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
Pat Sullivan here with exciting news from my friends at Hope Plumbing, now known as Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hope now offers plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services, bringing total comfort to your home. No more dealing with multiple home service memberships. For only $8 a month, Hope is now your one-stop for safety and maintenance inspections and so much more. Make sure you're prepared for those Indiana summer heat waves with an AC tune-up by calling Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE.
Tired of digging through noise to find real news? Go straight to WIBC.com. Local stories, statewide impact, national headlines, info that matters. When news breaks, WIBC.com is already on it. Stay on the know while you're on the go.
Admit it, it's an intriguing idea, isn't it?
I like it.
The old switcheroo.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good for both of you, actually. You can learn what he does. He can learn what you do.
Yeah, if you missed the last segment, we had jokingly said the other day, since Micah Beck with Lieutenant Governor seems to want to be a pundit more than govern, that we'll just switch. And I'm more interested in governing than talking.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just switch for a day?
Switcheroo, the old Freaky Friday.
He can come in
places.
and see in real time what this job is like, and I'll show him how to run the office.
Now, what we would have to do is take phone calls live.
Oh, totally. Because he told our audience when he was here on Tuesday that he doesn't need them anymore and he doesn't care and they can kick rocks. And so that'd be fun. I think that'd be compelling radio to listen to him, and he'd be great at it.
He would?
He would be great at it. No doubt whatsoever. He is an incredible orator. He's a phenomenal pastor. He's a phenomenal preacher. Life Church is amazing. He's been a huge part of that. He's just not great at governing, which is his actual job.
Are you going to ride in the car?
Maybe I'll sell the car.
Can you imagine the end of the day? You switch back. He goes to leave. Where's my car?
But we'll put it up to you, the audience. If you think that's stupid and don't want to do it, and we ask for your input, 317-684-8444, or add Robin Kendall, add Casey Daniels 317. If you think that's a stupid idea, we'll just drop it. But the only reason we brought it back up was I said it jokingly, and then all of a sudden it just caught on like wildfire with people the other day, and I thought, well, maybe that's a one-time thing, but if people are serious about it, why not?
Okay. We'll see where it goes, right?
Hey, Braun, I'm here!
Oh, my gosh. They would have security outside his office.
Hey, Diego!
Oh, yes. You could take a meeting with Diego.
Unofficial Lieutenant Governor here. I got some questions.
Interim Lieutenant Governor knocking on the door. Hey, what's going on, guys? I got some questions. We've got Curtis Hill who's going to join us.
Yeah, he's going to talk about this 3/5 compromise thing. He's not happy.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
With a B&W Premier Club membership, you'll stay ahead of breakdowns and costly repairs. Our members get routine maintenance, priority scheduling, and exclusive discounts, saving you money and keeping your family comfortable all season long. Visit bplusw.com or call 317-214-0108 for more information.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
Hey guys, it's Rob for We Grow Hair Indy. You know, this whole property tax thing may have caused you to lose a little hair on the top of your head. And if that's the case, you're not alone. Lots of guys have lost their hair and they've lost their confidence. And then they made the call to We Grow Hair Indy. I know, I did it 4.5 years ago. Every time I look in the mirror, so glad I did. Now, here's how this process works. It could not be any easier. You call today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. You schedule a totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Darren and the gang, they're top notch. They're going to have you come in. They'll look at what you got going on. They'll give you some suggestions on how to get your hair back and get your confidence back. And then you take it from there. In the meantime, if you'd like to see some other folks who made the choice to head over to We Grow Hair Indy and their results, head over to WeGrowHairIndy.com. WeGrowHairIndy.com, 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 317-516-6861 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. 317-516-6861 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 317-516-6861 for fast, easy, affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 317-516-6861.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what you can expect from the upcoming weather, what police know so far about a shooting from this morning in Indianapolis, and why some people in Indiana say they're not fans about a possible move from Amazon. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. You'll be hearing those stories and much more after Fox News here at the top of the hour, and it is now 10 o'clock.
It'll help pay us back.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A new deal with Ukraine signed by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who tells Fox Business.
I think that this is win-win for both sides, and it's very innovative.
It gives the U.S. access to Ukraine's lucrative rare earth minerals after all the money spent on military aid to help Ukraine battle Russia's invasion. Fox's Mark Meredith reports from the White House this is an agreement
that'll give the U.S. a future control of this revenue share that Ukraine is getting from its natural resources. Now, this deal will give the Trump administration a stake in Ukraine's future success as the U.S. continues to seek an end to Russia's war.
Now, the U.S. is warning Iran there could be military consequences for backing the Houthi militants in Yemen who've been targeting an American airstrike since March. This after Houthi attacks on ships in and around the Red Sea disrupting global shipping. The U.S. has also been holding nuclear talks with Iran to prevent them from building weapons. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz tells Fox.
Iran needs to wake up. Iran needs to get the message that it can be a responsible country, that the President of the United States wants peace.
The Trump administration, which has already made changes to transgender policies, including the president's attempt to stop biological men from playing in women's sports, is out with new guidance for children with an emphasis on behavioral therapy instead of medical treatments. The Deputy White House Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller, just said,
castration surgeries, castration drugs, sterilization treatments of children are barbaric. They violate all sound medical ethics. They are completely unwarranted. They harm children for life.
Now, this is the National Day of Prayer. President Trump will hold an event at the White House next hour, and it's also May Day when there are labor protests worldwide, and this year there's a Trump theme. In Italy, they paraded a puppet of the president around in the streets of Turin. French union leaders condemned what they call the Trumpization of global politics. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What you can expect from the sky. Rain on radar east of Indianapolis. It's also cloudy and 68 in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. As for a look at what lies ahead with the Indiana weather.
So today, scattered showers are going to continue, and then we have a chance for a few strong to severe storms later this afternoon and evening as the main front pushes through.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says off and on rain continues through the weekend as well. A shooting this morning on the south side of Indianapolis left one man dead. IMPD says it happened at around 12:30 at a strip mall at the intersection of Madison Avenue and East Stop 11 Road. The man was found shot behind one of the businesses, rushed to a hospital, and later died. Now police are searching for suspects. There's criticism towards Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith's comments about the 3/5 compromise. Ryan Hedrick reports on how two local leaders are responding.
Beckwith was talking about the clause that counted 3 out of every 4 people who were enslaved for congressional seats, calling it a smart move by the North to push for the end of slavery. Governor Mike Braun disagrees with the way that Beckwith characterized that.
I'm a believer that you better start thinking about what you're saying before it comes out.
Beckwith responded to Mike Braun's comments.
I don't work for Governor Braun. I work for the people of Indiana.
Indianapolis faith leaders will hold a press conference on Friday to talk about Beckwith's comments. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
People in New Carlisle are concerned about an Amazon data center that would be built and nearly impact 10 acres of wetlands and more than 5,000 feet of streams. The Indiana Department of Environmental Management listened to people's concerns at a public meeting Wednesday night. There's a golden doodle roaming the Indiana State House named Alfie.
Well, his role at the State House basically is putting smiles on people's faces and keeping my colleagues chill, keeping them calm and even-tempered so that we can do the job that is the important work of the people of Indiana.
That's Allison Slatter, who works in the state treasurer's office. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 10:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Nothing better than taking the family out to a midsummer baseball game out at Victory Field. And my friends at AAA Hoosier Motor Club can help deliver on some big-time savings. They're partners with the Indianapolis Indians and sponsors of their fabulous Friday night fireworks. And if you're an Indians fan and a AAA member, you get all sorts of perks. $4 off tickets to all home games, plus 10% concessions and Indians Pro Shop discounts.
Yeah, going to Victory Field, always fun. Same with going on a vacation. And AAA members, you save when you have a membership. You get discounts on hotels, rental cars, and even complimentary travel planning. Plus, if you run into trouble out on the road, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas, AAA is there. 24/7, 365, no matter where your travels take you. Join AAA today. Visit AAA.com, call 844-GO, AAA-GO, or stop by your local AAA office.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County's spring nursery headquarters.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, you may have heard there are quite a few people who are upset with the lieutenant governor.
Yeah, he has said some things that have kind of ruffled some feathers.
And the latest is this comment he made on video. What has it been? It's been a couple weeks ago now, week ago now, whatever it's been, about trying to in some way, what it came off as in some way, advocate for the 3/5 compromise.
Yeah, and it was regarding Bill 289, which was a DEI bill, but he had some things that he wanted to get off his chest. I think he was trying to have a teaching moment.
Sure, and we've said that Micah loves history, he knows history, and there's no doubt in my mind there's not a racist bone in Micah's body. He's a phenomenal human being, even though we're kind of upset with him right now about some of the political stuff he's done. He's a great guy, but what we said is, he shouldn't have done the video because whether he's ultimately right or wrong, there was no win in making that video because the bill that the Democrats were upset about where they invoked the 3/5 compromise had already passed.
Right.
If your goal is to govern well, you had already done the thing, and all you've done by doing this video is make life difficult for you, for your staff, for the people in the State House, for your fellow Republicans who voted for this thing, and maybe most importantly, you pissed off the governor.
Yeah, but it does have people talking about him, which may have been the ultimate goal as well.
Well, and that's where we said that sometimes it seems like Micah's more interested in preparing for his next job as a podcaster or television guy or whatever than he is actually governing. And and one of the things Mike has kind of tried to say, and I've seen this on social media, is, well, the left and the left media and blah, blah, blah. Look, there's a lot of people. We are certainly not left nor left media who agree with us, including our next guest. Nobody going to accuse him of being left. The Attorney General, the former Attorney General, I still wish he was the Attorney General, but the former Attorney General for the state of Indiana, Curtis Hill, very upset about this, joins us now. Curtis Hill, hello.
Rob, how are you guys?
It's always good to go with Casey first.
Yeah.
She runs the show around here, Curtis.
All right. Good morning.
I got it.
So you are, I mean, I think people, no one would question your bona fides as a conservative fighter. And one of the things Mike has tried to say as well, these people who are upset, they are just the liberal left, the liberal media. And you texted me yesterday and you said, no, I'm pretty upset about it too.
Yeah, it's not the liberal left. It's about the truth. And Micah Beckwith is a friend of mine. I love him. I don't want to see him fail. And it was an unnecessary effort to educate the public, and I think it was a miseducation to indicate that the 3/5 compromise was a great move by the North towards the end of slavery is just not reflected in history. It's not accurate. Slavery went on for 78 years after the Constitution was drafted. That doesn't bode well for the document. Now, we can support and love the Constitution as I do, but we have to recognize, in order to be credible, we have to recognize that it was flawed. Our founding was flawed by the institution of slavery, by the embracing of slavery, and efforts to try to sugarcoat it don't bode well for goals of increasing our demographic as conservatives. We want to demonstrate that this country has changed, is moving in the right direction, and it has to start with an accurate reflection of what did happen and what the impact of that action was.
You know Micah pretty well. Why do you think he made this video? Because I agree with you. And look, we said whether he's right or wrong, there was no political win. The bill that in question had already passed. It's not like he needed to rally the troops or fight the Democrats. Why do you think he made this video?
I think only Micah can answer that. I think I think he's a firm believer in the truth as he sees it, and he wants to make sure that others understand or buy into that truth. My concern is that I don't think it's an accurate reflection, and I don't think it's well thought. It's a very simplistic view of the 3/5 compromise, and when you suggest that it was a good move or a great move for African Americans, I mean. It wasn't a great move for an African American slave born in 1787 that was going to be a slave for their entire life. That's a perspective that we have to recognize and understand, especially if our party is called out for being racist and being bigoted, and we have those in the party who are anti-woke, anti-DEI. Hey, that's me. I'm anti-woke. I was, in my gubernatorial campaign, I was the first one to call for the elimination of DEI as official policy for the state of Indiana. Having said that, I absolutely am not a racist. I absolutely don't want to reflect any racism, and I don't think that you have to sugarcoat the Constitution in order to be anti-woke. I think we can demonstrate that the Constitution had some flaws. We can talk about it carefully, and it has to be carefully because when you're going back to the Constitutional Convention and talking about what the particular motivations were, you have to be very, very careful about that. To suggest that the 3/5 compromise was motivated by a desire to end slavery, that's a bit of a stretch. And you have to look at the history to determine was that the outcome? It wasn't the outcome. So maybe that was motivation by some, but not others. Very dicey to start dancing around in that space because you can land just like Micah has. And I'm hoping that this will be an exercise that will enlighten him as to when to speak and when not to.
Curtis Hill is joining us, and it seems to me that Micah Beckwith was weighing in his thoughts on Bill 289 in regards to DEI. Would you have said anything even while disagreeing with the Democrats, or would you have just let it go?
Well, there's in my belief, there is no correlation between DEI and the 3/5 compromise. And if someone else wanted to make that pitch, if I were going to comment on it, I'd be very, very careful about how to comment on that because it's a very complex issue. We don't have to argue and fight about everything. You have to pick your battles. And especially when you come into office like Micah has, and what I'm about to say is not something that I wouldn't tell him directly. In fact, I probably have. When you're coming into office like he's come in, you're going to have a lot of targets on you. You're going to have a lot of opportunity for people to trip you up, and you don't have to give them those opportunities with a bow around it. You don't have to speak on every issue. You don't have to video everything that comes up. You have to pick your spots and pick spots that I'm not saying you don't get into controversy. Controversy is the way that we get things done and that we get change accomplished. But pick your battles, identify what your objective is. Here, I don't see any positive objective of getting into this pitch that was beneficial to Micah, beneficial to his office, to the party, to the state. It just was a controversy looking for a place to land. And it was an unnecessary error on his part. So I'm hopeful that he'll learn by this that you don't have to get into every battle. He's a bright, articulate fellow. Has a lot of energy. I'd like to see him put that energy into areas that he can have an influence on and can impact. And I'd like to see him put that energy into efforts to increase the demographic of the conservative movement. And you do that by demonstrating that you understand all the nuances that are engaged in the system.
Now, you ran against Braun. You ran for governor. You were the attorney general. Braun came out yesterday. He was at some event, and he got asked about it, and it was a pretty weak response. I'll just read it to you to make sure we quote it correctly. Again, this is according to Indy Star, other places. I definitely wouldn't have used that characterization, and I don't like it. I'm a believer that you better start thinking about what you're saying before it comes out. And I think you don't want to make headlines the wrong way because it takes away from the substance of what you're trying to do in general. He's clearly very annoyed with Micah. He's in an arranged marriage with him. He didn't want him to be the lieutenant governor. If you were in Braun's position, at some point you got to start getting a little strict with this guy and a little firmer publicly, right? Because all what would you call that, Casey? The passive aggressive stuff from Braun, it doesn't seem to be working. How would you handle this, Curtis, if you were governor?
Well, it is an unusual situation in so much as Micah went around the system and earned his seat without Braun's help. So the relationship would certainly have been tested in that regard. I think it's imperative that Mike and Micah have an understanding of their relative roles. The governor certainly has an expectation that Micah should be able to come to him and express himself freely on any topic and any issue. But once they go public, they need to be united. Mm-hmm. And I think that Braun certainly has the right to be concerned about comments that come out that are contrary to a team effort. They are a team, ultimately. Even if they were an arranged marriage, as it were, they're married now. And there has to be an ability for them to work together. And if that's not happening, the governor has the responsibility to step in and do something about it. I'm hopeful that the two of them can work together to improve the relationship, to have a singular message. That doesn't mean that Micah gets shut out, but from a public standpoint, they need to be operating as much as possible together in order to accomplish an objective. Keep in mind that this is about being successful. If the idea is to do anything but be successful, if the idea is just to get your point across, well, that's a whole nother ball game. But if we're looking at a way for our Indiana government to move forward, our executive branch to move forward, they need to move forward in a unified process, even when they have disagreements on issues.
Curtis, before we let you go, I wonder how you would have handled the last couple weeks of the General Assembly. Obviously, we're very displeased. Our audience is very displeased with the way Braun handled the tax increases in the budget. The property tax thing is a debacle. If the General Assembly had gotten in a standoff with you like they did with Braun on property taxes, how would you have handled it? Would it have been different than the governor did?
Well, that's always hard to say. It's easy to Monday morning quarterback or criticize someone else who's in a situation. From my standpoint, I've recognized for quite some time the shell game that's being played at the State House. And first and foremost, you have to understand that process and engage in the knife fight early on. What we really need to have is transparency in how things work. And that would be one of the things that I think that anybody who's in the governor's office should be insisting upon is a transparency so that the public is aware of the shell game, of how the process works. Because what happens is you get strung along with an expectation that XYZ is going to happen, and you have a pretty good sense after it's all done that XYZ was never going to happen.
Yeah.
And that it was all a part of a game that made you think it was going to happen and then pull the carpet out from under you, but everything's good and we're all happy and we're all one big team. It's one of the problems with the state of Indiana being a supermajority and yet always being a couple of ticks away from being more liberal than what we would like to admit. So I don't think there's a singular fix. I think it's a matter of being very engaged with understanding the shenanigans that goes on in the General Assembly and making sure that you dive in there and work with the folks to make sure that there is transparency in how everything is being accomplished.
Curtis Hill, former Attorney General for the state of Indiana, thank you for taking a few moments to share your thoughts on the comments by Lieutenant Governor and how you think things should go going forward.
Well, thanks, guys, and you have a great day.
Yeah, you too. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
When you wake up,
you understand this is about money. 1,000%. They started this.
When you work.
As long as the category was all Bruce Springsteen all the time.
I told you I think I could win a game of Jeopardy. I could not go on a run.
When you drive home.
Is it time to try something new, you think? Because it hasn't worked, and maybe try something new.
Traffic when you need it.
Stopped on 465 again.
And updates all the time.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go.
Stay in the know wherever you go with 93 WIBC. WIBC. Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This is the Indy 500, a race so thrilling and wondrous that it brings together more people than any other sporting event on Earth. They call the Indianapolis Motor Speedway the Cathedral of Speed. This is the Brickyard, where they've been racing since before any of us were born.
Spectators get a great view of these fast cars.
This is Speed City, and everyone's invited. Welcome to May.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Oh, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky.
Got your hat all ready to go?
My hat, my fascinator, my dress, all of it.
You ever been to the Kentucky Derby?
I have been to the Kentucky Derby, and
exciting.
it is quite an event. Very similar to the Indy 500, except there's horses.
More sophisticated.
Real horses.
Wait.
Instead of horsepower, it's real horses.
Wait. There's no way the crowd at the Kentucky Derby is similar to the Indy 500 crowd.
Well, they're dressed up, so I think the Indy 500 crowd is a little bit more casual, and it's a lot noisier. Yeah.
So it's not even close to being similar.
Well,
you mean it's a large single day sporting event?
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
okay.
That's what I mean.
And okay. So the Kentucky Derby, what is Saturday, right? It's Saturday.
Yeah, it's Saturday, and the broadcast begins at 2:30 on NBC.
Why did you go? Because you had always wanted to go? Did you go for some work function? Why did you go to the Kentucky Derby?
Well, I went because it was part of the dude's 40th birthday celebration.
He wanted to go.
Yes, but at one point, my father owned a racehorse.
Oh, really?
Had never been to the Kentucky Derby, and we took him, and it was actually, it's very sentimental to me because it was the last big thing that we did together before he passed away.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so it really has a...
You just let the horse loose on the track and said, let's see how you do against the big boys.
Special place in my heart. Kentucky Derby, yeah.
So did it live up to your expectation of what the event would be?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a whole lot of fun. Now, it's not just, when people think of the Kentucky Derby, it's just one race.
That's right.
And it's in the evening. It's like the 14th or 15th race. But it's the whole day event, and then the day before is the Oaks, and that's a charity event, and that's where everybody, even the men, wear pink.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about the 500 that I found, I've been twice, was the pre-race festivities are friggin' awesome, right? Back home again in Indiana, taps, all that stuff, it's great, right? And you see all these people, and it's a sea of humanity. However, the actual viewing of the race itself, now it may have changed, because I think they've added video boards and whatever, but the actual viewing of the race is kind of hard because you just have that one little thing where the car goes zoom right past you.
Yeah.
And you obviously miss 95% of the action.
Well, with the Kentucky Derby, you can walk around the paddock where they're, getting the horses ready.
Yeah.
And you can get a little closer to them.
Yeah.
And depending on how much you want to pay for a ticket, you can get
What
closer.
does a ticket cost?
Boy.
Did you have to buy it off the secondary market? Or did you buy, is there like...
No, we went... like KentuckyDerby.com.
Oh, they don't sell out? It's not something where you can't, it's like the Masters where you can't get a ticket. You can actually just go to some website and buy a ticket directly from them.
I believe you can still go today for this weekend's event.
Kev, can you look up that? If you went to the Kentucky Derby website, could I buy a ticket to the Kentucky Derby right now, and what would it cost
And
me?
there's going to be various levels. Like, do you want to have a seat? Do you want to be in the grandstand? That sort of thing.
See, I was under the impression it was like
suite?
the Masters where you can't get them. They're passed down for years. You got to buy them off the very expensive the secondary market. You're saying you think you can go to some sort of website and get them immediately.
It may not be a great seat, but I believe you could still
but
get
you
it
could go
today.
to the Kentucky Derby. Do you remember what tickets were? I mean, is it like $50 or $100 or?
Well, we had seats and we were pretty close to the railing because it was a special event.
Right.
So we paid a little bit more.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe it was a 150, 200.
Well, that's not bad. Well, that was 10
range.
years ago, but that's it's like if it's a bucket list thing for you to do, that's not that bad of a price to go do something you've really wanted to do because one ticket gets you in all day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a whole day.
Oh yeah, it's the whole day, and we made a weekend of it.
Sure.
We went to the Oaks on Friday, stayed in a hotel, did big steak dinner with my dad, and
how exciting.
Should
go to more events with you.
Celebrated the dude's birthday, and then had the Derby the following day. I mean, we had the dresses and the hat and the whole thing.
So did you the Kentucky Derby's over. The rate when the 500's over, of course, it takes you 5 hours to get out of the track, but then you go home. Did you go, Kentucky Derby's over, we go home. What did you do? Did you stay the night? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I believe, I'm trying to remember. I know we spent the night Friday night. I think we drove home on Saturday afterwards.
Please tell me you found a ticket to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, I mean, there's different packages and different seats available.
Sure.
But the one that I found, it's the First Turn Club Dine-In.
Oh, how exciting.
It says ticket price is $2,000.
Wow, jeez.
That can't be, is that right?
What do you get with it?
Well, that's like in the suite.
Yeah,
that's
I think you get like a dining experience.
I don't want any of that. I just want a ticket.
Yeah, you just want a grandstand.
You know me, I'm very thrifty. Is there just a ticket? Can I get a ticket to the Kentucky Derby? What would a ticket cost? Like, I want to go in. I want to watch the horses go around. Hi, good night, everybody. Thank you very much. I've been to the Kentucky Derby. Like, do we know what that would cost? I don't need a suite experience.
Okay, I'm seeing for that just general admission.
Yes, thank you.
$220.
How much?
$220.
$220 for general. Okay. So that means I don't get a seat, or do I get a seat with the general admission? You've been there. Don't look to him.
I'm not sure. I'm not
sure. Have you been?
I've never been to this now.
You're the expert here. Do I get a seat or do I have to stand?
I sound like one, don't I?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, so $220. Okay. So I could do this because I'm me with the drive from Indianapolis. What is that? That's a 3-hour drive. Is that about right? What it take to get to the Kentucky Derby? Is that right?
No, it's not that far.
Is it?
No. It's
really?
Like 145.
1 hour and 45. Even better.
Yeah.
Back. Let's just say it's
right across the river.
That's true. That's right. $30 in gas. $40 in gas.
You're going to spend some on some mint juleps.
Am I?
Aren't you?
Well, I'm saying, how cheap could I actually do this endeavor?
You won't smoke any cigars while you're there.
No, that's right. I won't. I could do
your
this.
betting money.
I could do this.
Win, play, show.
Yeah, I could do this for under $300 if that ticket's $220.
Yeah, you totally could. It's an experience.
Stop at a McDonald's on the way down. Be fine.
Right.
There you go. Boom. Perfect.
So you've got the front runner this year is the horse journalism.
That's the name of the horse? What are the odds? Does it say?
3-1.
3. Is that good or bad? I mean,
that's good.
Well, I mean, it's plus money. You would win $3 for every dollar you bet. But I'm saying, like, by horse standards, previous favorites, like, let's take Secretariat out of the equation. I wonder what a normal front runner is.
It's in that range.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. I believe the long shot is 30-1.
Oh.
Toby Keith is going to have a horse in the Kentucky Derby.
Toby Keith is no longer with us, Casey.
No, he's not. But he's always wanted to have a horse in the Kentucky Derby. And now one of his horses
I gotcha.
will be in the Derby. Render Judgment.
My grandmother always used to bet on Pat Day's horses, whatever horse Pat Day was a jockey for, because she was a strong believer. My grandmother loved horse racing. She was a strong believer in the jockey. So whatever horse Pat Day was the jockey for, I don't even know. Is Pat Day still alive? I don't know if he's still with us or not. What I do know is the voicemails are next.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A day where the umbrella can come in handy. You've got light rain on radar east of Indianapolis. It's also cloudy and 68 in the Circle City. 72 is the high today. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. More rain and thunderstorms are possible all across Indiana today.
There's a chance of an isolated strong storm, but it looks like the main severe weather threat was yesterday.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service says the places that have the best chance of getting severe weather tonight are in southeast Indiana. Gunfire in Indianapolis this morning.
Just after midnight, just before 12:30 a.m., IMPD Southeast District officers were dispatched to that 8,000 block of Madison Avenue and a report of a person shot.
IMPD officer Tommy Thompson says they found a man behind a building with a gunshot wound, and that man later died. Now they're searching for the shooter. An Iowa woman thinks she's broken the Guinness World Record for the biggest collection of spoons. Cammie Pohl owns the Mississippi Spoon Gallery in Davenport and says she now has 38,162 spoons in her collection. Took nearly 24 people more than 5 hours to count them all. The previous record stands at 30,000 teaspoons set in 1990. And while those were all teaspoons, Pohl says she's got all kinds. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FUN for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FUN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FUN for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, Mother's Day is a week from Sunday, and this Mother's Day, join Life Church. There'll be special elements of each Life Church location to make sure your mom or mother figure feels celebrated and special. Whatever you do, if you have your mom with you, be sure to give her a hug, a call, or a simple thank you. Let her know she's cherished. And on top of that, celebrate her, celebrate love, and give thanks to the one who gave us both, Jesus Christ. Life Church has 4 campuses across central Indiana: Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Great online services. They'd love to see you on Mother's Day. Learn more at lifechurchin.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Mother's Day is almost here. Sundown Gardens is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails.
The phone number, 317-684-8444. If you'd like to get involved, leave us your questions, comments, or smart remarks, whatever is on your mind, with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So, switcheroo, huh? Freaky Friday? You and the lieutenant governor switch places. You would be the interim lieutenant governor for a day.
For one day.
He would be the interim co-host on the Kendall and Casey show.
Look, this would really make so many people happy because people are always like, you should go run for this and you should run for that. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. But for one day, if I knew it ended after one day,
glorious day,
I could do a lot of good in one day.
Do you think so?
Oh, totally. And this is perfect because Micah, clearly to many people, comes off as more interested in being a pundit than being a politician, governing. I'm very interested, as I was for a huge portion of my life, in good government. So he can come in here, find out what it's like, because since he told our audience to kick rocks and he didn't need them anymore, well, you guys can open the phones or do whatever you do for a day, and he can be a pundit and see how that works. And I'll go show him how to run the office.
Okay. Well, we did get a phone call about this idea.
Hey, guys, I just want to come in on Rob switching places with Micah for a day. The question I have on that, does Rob get to drive the $80,000 car? I think he should. Anyway, thanks. Bye.
Well, it was, what, 87,000 because it had the bells and whistles.
Sure.
That's how they described it when they made the request.
Yeah, their words, not ours.
We'd start the day with the car. Now, whether we ended the day with the car or not, that we would see. It would be the most taxpayer-friendly day we've ever seen in the Lieutenant Governor's office, and I think we could do a lot of good in one day, Casey.
Do you drive the car or would you ride in the car? Would you keep those fat guys around you?
I'm not going to divulge my strategy yet, Case, because I'm not sure Micah would have the cojones to actually take us up on this offer. So I'm not. Look, we said it as a joke. It took off. People are interested. Obviously, they're still interested in it. But I'm not going to really probably mention it much more until let's see.
It's not like you could be signing bills.
Well, let's see.
There aren't any bills to sign right now.
I don't even know what the parameters are. We'd have to figure that out. If the people remain interested, I'll explore it. But Micah's not going to give up the perks and the good life for a day like that to come over here and have to face the music with our audience. He's not going to do that.
You don't think
He's too smart for that.
He does like to fight. He says he speaks his mind. He's going to stand his ground.
Then maybe this would be the best thing for humanity.
Maybe
I don't know, but I'm not.
Maybe he can.
I'll wait to see what the public feedback is. If we continue to get feedback, maybe we'll think about it more, but it's out of sight, out of mind now.
I love this idea for one reason only. He has to do the template. That's part of the deal, right? Although if he's switching roles with you...
Well, sometimes you make me do the template.
I guess he won't be doing the template.
You will then become the senior member of the Kendall and Casey show. You can boss him around and make him do whatever you want to do.
Will it be the Casey and Micah show? Okay, here's another phone call. This one is about the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor.
This message is for our Lieutenant Governor and for our Governor. As a citizen of Indiana, let me remind you, you ran on eliminating or at least reducing the tax. You said you would cap them to 2021 levels. You didn't say anything about raising taxes. You didn't say, we'll just hang on for a second. We'll get to it. You didn't say we need to build a foundation. You said we will cut taxes. Micah, you got to draw the line.
And we started our show today by saying it was very sad yesterday to see poor Braun looking very elderly and feeble at that Politburo meeting where everybody was mandated to clap. He didn't invite the public. He invited his cabinet and the lawmakers. And it's sad to see what Braun has had to go through the last few weeks. But just like with Ebenezer Scrooge, as Jiminy Cricket tells him in Mickey's Christmas Carol, you did it to yourself. Yourself. You fashion these memories yourself. So what we said was I was very sad to see yesterday. There was obviously just rage from people when he made that post on social media, way worse than what Holcomb got during COVID. And so I said, I think in the interest of decency and helping the elderly, and we should give Braun one more chance. Which, here's the thing: the reality is, clearly they've admitted it's a dumpster fire. The fact that he's talking about coming back next year, of course he won't tell you what he's coming back for. They acknowledge the hate. The lawmakers have admitted, Chris Jeter just straight up said, well, we're delaying the business personal property tax exemption because we have no idea what it does. You have every opportunity to just scrap it and start over. And we are going to give Braun another shot here, a couple days, to say, hey, we can do our best. Look, it's like, remember Bane and Batman, where the people just take over, like Bane's the face, but the people have taken over? That's sort of us now. We're like Bane, right? Like, we've got all these people behind us, but they've already taken over the process. We can't guarantee you that they won't take over the town, but we can do our best to call them off for a few days. If by Monday, Braun comes out and says, look, I've heard it. We got to stop this. We got to stop this madness. And if Braun comes out and says, I'm calling a special session, which is 100% in his power, and asking the legislature to repeal this bill and start over, they got 2 months.
Yeah.
Laws don't take effect in Indiana until July 1st.
They can
figure out something better. And if they can't, then we'll just operate as is. And ultimately, we will save people while you're still getting screwed on the property taxes. It will save you money because of this local income tax thing. So I think we're going to give them a couple days to come out and do the right thing. Josh Kelly, listen to me.
Oh, boy.
Jason Johnson, listen to me. You got to save your guy from himself here, okay? We're not doing this. You've seen the people. You know where the people are at. Sure, I warned you. I sat right next to you, Josh, and the governor, and I told you this is going to happen. You have every chance to save the governor. Just have him do what we're telling you, and he could end up being a hero out of all of this.
You know, you said that this is even worse than Holcomb during COVID. I mean, Holcomb was like, yeah, I did it. Deal with it.
Yep.
Braun is like doing, these are not the droids you're looking for. Like, he's like, we know what's going on, and he keeps trying to gaslight everybody.
Well, that's the amazing thing, is they keep shoving it in people's faces. And I think that's
historic and proud.
Right. Proud of what? You were so unproud of it that the lawmakers scrapped the biggest part of the bill. Now, we disagreed with that portion of the bill, but they scrapped it, which is the business personal property. There's nothing here. There's a $200 to $300 million actual property tax savings. Let's just eliminate the lit, and we know the local income taxes are going up. Let's just, on its face, say no local income taxes would go up. We know that's not true, but for the purpose of this exercise, there's $200 to $300 million in savings, which we did the math at the high end would be $42 a person. Obviously, that's 7 million people. Children don't own homes, but we're trying to give the benefit of the doubt as best we can. This is over $42 a person. That's if you include the kids in it, right? Or assume everybody owns a home, which they don't. A bunch of people are going to get nothing. We're being as generous as you could possibly be. Why are you doing this to yourself, Braun? Josh, why are you doing this to your boss?
Save yourself.
You seem like a reasonable man. You seem like you want him to succeed. Did I not tell you, Josh, this was going to happen? Listen to me for once. Listen to Uncle Fester. Cousin Eddie is here to save the day.
Listen, we've got one more phone call. This one also about Governor Mike Braun.
Prior to the tax reform and you guys promoting Governor Braun, I was very skeptical. And I'd like to refer back to when he was running for Senate. I had the honor of attending the rally that they held at Southport High School when they had the president, the vice president, Coach Knight, and they were all there campaigning for to be Senator Braun. And I was not impressed when I attended that rally, because just like as Rob referred to Braun today as a tired old man, when he showed up at that rally, I was just totally turned off by the way he was acting. His demeanor was terrible. And I felt like that he rode the coattails of then President Trump into the Senate.
Well, a lot of people think that's how he got elected this time as well.
I was at that rally.
Yeah?
I got, through someone I will not name, I got one of the primo seats behind the stage where it'd be on TV.
You paid $2,000 for it?
I paid $0 for it. And the GOP got mad at the shirt that I was wearing, and they made me put on another shirt.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What was the shirt?
It was a manufacturer. I'll ask Hammer when he comes in, because Hammer helped me make it. And it was something, And they got it wasn't inappropriate or crude. It was some.
Was it like the one you wore to the convention to pick up your convention tickets? Something like
probably
good Republicans don't vote for bad Republicans?
We wrote on a shirt. I'll ask Cameron when he comes in if he can remember. They made me change the shirt because they knew it'd be on TV, and it was something about holding Republicans accountable. I don't even remember. I've done so many offensive things at this point in my life. I don't even remember.
They're all blending together.
I was there.
All right, here's another phone call. This one. Where are we? Oh, this one. This guy wants to call and talk. We were talking about the IndyCar.
Yeah.
The pace car that they released yesterday.
Right.
And here's a phone call about somebody breaking a record.
I heard the show yesterday, and you're talking about the Indy cars going 200 and some mile an hour. Now, I don't want it to mean any kind of racing. It takes a set. I mean, it takes nerves of steel for any type of racing. But I just wondered if you had heard that over the weekend, Ashley Force set a new record for top fuel dragster, 341 miles per hour in 3.6 seconds. That's from a dead stop, a quarter mile or 1,000 feet anymore, in 3.6 seconds, 341 miles per hour. It's something. I mean, and like I said, I don't want it to mean any other racing, whether it's NASCAR, Indy, any of it. It takes a lot of nerves of steel to do any racing. So I just wanted to say that Ashley Force is a force.
So Ashley Force is the daughter of John Force. Mm-hmm. He's the one of the legendary drivers in that field, long time. I think he's retired now, and that's very fast. Look, I'm not for federal intervention, Casey, but the fact that we're letting women go that fast.
She's the same age as you.
She's very young.
Yeah,
a very young person broke an incredible record. That's amazing.
She was born in 82.
Well, she's not the same age as me then.
Close.
No, she's older than me. Don't even start.
Close.
Yeah.
Oh, older than you.
She's much older than me.
Much. Come on now. Not that much. She's very pretty too. And one more car.
No, we got to go to break.
We got to go to break.
Casey.
Somebody wanted to call and talk about your car.
Oh, that's fine. We can play it later. We'll play it next hour.
Okay.
Give us something to look forward to.
Hammer's coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, so it's not an economic disaster, or is it just a harbinger of things to come? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Race Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Raise Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Hello, my name is Nate Clancy. I'm with Labor's Local 120. I've been with Labor's Local 120 for over 40 years now.
For members of Labor's International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community, like helping the Soapbox Derby.
We painted the bridge. The Wilkershaw Bridge is an iconic bridge for the Soapbox Derby. It's been there forever. It was, needing work.
When Indy or surrounding communities need help, LIUNA steps up.
Members that went over there, we seen that it was needing work, power washed, done the painting, just anything that was needed, and it looks amazing now.
This is Chris Bricky, business manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
Here at the local, I like volunteering in the community. Just every little bit helps. I really got a real joy in doing that.
We build Indy for good jobs and stronger communities. We are LIUNA Local 120.
Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds May 9th through 17th for Dana Mecum's 38th Original Spring Classic. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. And with more than 3,000 vehicles up for auction, it's a chance to bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy tickets now at Mecum.com. That's Mecum.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The WIBC mashup is everything you love, from fiery debates to laugh-out-loud takes, all in one podcast. No weak sauce, just the best of the day each weekday. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts.
There he is from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel program, Jason Hammer in the studio. Hello.
So are you going to go to the Derby or not?
We talked about it, yeah. Just kind of going down for the day and coming back. It's not that long of a drive.
No, it's a short drive.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go.
You should totally go. I think you would really have a good time. You got both ends of the spectrum at the Derby. You can go and do the whole fancy and really dress up nice. And then there's the infield crowd, which is very much like the infield crowd at the Indy 500.
Sure.
It's a little more casual.
Yeah, as a gambling degenerate, it's always been on my bucket list to go, which, by the way, speaking of, new Degenerates Next Door podcast comes out around 1 o'clock this afternoon. We will have some action on the Derby. Our guy, a horse racing guy, Kenny Britt, is going to give us the breakdown on the Run for the Roses.
Talk Derby to me. So are you going
to
to do something while you're watching it if you're not going to go?
So we're thinking about having like a little porch party. Bring the TV outside on the big porch, make up a bunch of mint juleps.
Yeah.
Crystal might dress up like Gone with the Wind style, and I'll try to throw on my Dumb and Dumber tux.
And you'll need new curtains afterwards, or no?
Right.
She's going to have a big hat.
She's going to have the big hat. She's going to have the dress, and I'm going to look like Seth freaking Rollins from WWE. So, yeah, next year, I want to go. I always say next year, but then it creeps up on you. It's like, my God, I can't believe it's May already.
Yeah.
But I would love to do it one year, and if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right.
Do it right.
The ridiculous suit and everything in between.
You're a Cubs fan, so I'm assuming, I know, in fact, as we were texting about it last night, you saw the guy fall out of the stands last night.
So I was watching the game when it happened. Now, the TV camera did not show the guy falling out of the stands, but what happened was the Pirates were scoring some runs against the Cubs. I think it was the bottom of the 7th. And as the run was crossing home plate, you could see like everybody turned their attention to the outfield. And then the game was stopped. Like both managers came out and told the umpire, hey, they were pointing to the outfield. So I thought maybe it was a naked guy, streaker, something. You never know. But there are some fan videos that have made their way on social media that show some dude just fell like 20 plus feet over the wall in the outfield, like landed on his neck and is in critical condition. And they had to like take him out on a stretcher. And the video, again, that's going around social media, it looks like the dude was just shot up from an ejector seat. I mean, he's just end over end, and he lands hard on the warning track in the outfield.
Because people online were going, that's so stupid that you would allude that the man jumped over the railing. It's like, it looks like he was, like you said, like just jumped off a diving board.
So now we're seeing some eyewitnesses come out and say that this guy was hammered drunk, was spilling beers all over himself, had his shirt off, and when the Pirates were scoring the go-ahead run, he jumped up in a seat and was so drunk, like tipped over and like went head over feet, tumbling down to the ground, and he smacked the warning track. Don't know if he's going to make it or not, but the players were all in the field. They look shook up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, oh my God, did this guy die out there right now?
Well, they put the when he was on the gurney, and then they're driving him off. They put the thing over his. It looked like they were doing like some sort of resuscitative procedure or something. So God bless those first responders that got out there. If this guy is still alive, but people are trying to put this on like we've got to do something. Yeah, don't. If that's the case with this guy, if indeed that is true, don't get that liquored up in public.
Right, and he was there with friends, like his girlfriend was there, some other people were there. Like, where's the support system here? You can not let that dude get that drunk where he can't function.
And the ball wasn't coming towards him. It wasn't like he was involved in the play. I mean, you've seen that before. A ball, you got to be careful of that too. A guy fell over the railing trying to catch a foul ball. You got to be aware of your surroundings and how to behave in public, especially when you're way up in the freaking air.
It was a ground ball in the infield. It was a seeing eye base hit that was like kicked around, and that's how the run was scored. Had nothing to do with the outfielders. There was no fly ball coming at him that he thought he was going to make a play on. He just jumped up because he was excited they were taking the lead, and he was so drunk that he just tipped over.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen happen at a sporting event, like a fan behavior?
Cubs and Cards game, Busch Stadium in St. Louis a couple years ago, streaker.
Oh, you saw a streaker?
Streaker, yes.
Full nude?
No, underpants.
From the field?
Yeah, ran out there on the outfield and tidy whities. He was just had a mullet flying in the wind. And I got to say, umpires, they get the rap of being fat and old and out of shape. This one umpire, along with the security guard, chased this dude down and beat the hell out of him.
What's coming up this afternoon?
Rob Kendall. We're going to go off
exciting.
the rails. Biggest stories in Indy. And new Degenerates Next Door sports betting podcast drops at 1.
Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
From the moment our eyes met, I knew it was love at first sight. She had such a playful sense of humor. And when I look in that sparkle in her eyes, I just melt. My folks always said to find the girl I can't live without, and my heart says she's the one. So I'm going to Pierce Jewelers in Carmel for that perfect diamond engagement ring. Nothing says I love you more than an engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers. She pierced my heart. Now I'm going to pierce hers. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Pierce Jewelers.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
When was the last time you practiced your home fire escape plan? Be sure everyone in your family knows what to do if there's a fire. Get out, stay out. It's your fire safe response.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, why the sunshine is something you might not be seeing much of in the coming days. Not everyone's on board with an Amazon data center. You'll hear why. And a new bridge. You'll hear about the perks organizers say comes with it. Those stories and more after Fox on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
The National Security Advisor is on his way out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. We just learned minutes ago Mike Waltz will be leaving. This after he had gotten just a few months ago in the middle of the Signal group chat controversy, inadvertently inviting a journalist into a discussion about U.S. military action in Yemen. Now, the news of Waltz's departure comes hours after Waltz told Fox this about the war in Ukraine.
Russia needs to come to the table. Both sides have to want peace. Both sides have to want to stop the fighting, and we think there is still a deal to be had.
Now, the U.S. is still in also trade talk deals, and there was a deal with Ukraine on minerals, allowing the U.S. to get a profit sharing on natural resources out of Ukraine as a part of recouping those talks and the cost of military support for Ukraine in the war. Now, trade talks continue, and Mexico's president just said she had a very positive conversation with President Trump. As for China, where there are still massive tariffs on imports and exports, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told Fox Business Network today,
I am confident that the Chinese will want to reach a deal.
Meanwhile, inflation's been coming down lately, but the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is concerned that could change amid the ongoing trade war.
As each day goes by, small businesses are increasingly endangered by higher costs and interrupted supply chains, the Chamber of Commerce warns in a letter sent to Trump administration officials. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller says small business relief will come in the form of tax cuts.
Companies that invest in the United States will be able to deduct 100% of that cost from their tax liability.
That plan is part of the One Big Beautiful Bill President Trump is urging Republicans in Congress to pass.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House, where this hour the president will take part in a National Day of Prayer event. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It might have made your phone go off. Radars become clear around the Indy Metro. It's also cloudy and 69 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. There were a couple of tornado warnings in southern Indiana Wednesday night.
Everything kind of weakened as it moved up to the I-70 corridor. So while there were thunderstorms around Indianapolis, we didn't really get much severe weather here locally, thankfully, last night.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service says surveyors are out looking at possible storm damage today. Moore says periodic rain is supposed to fall across Indiana through at least Monday. Amazon wants to fill in nearly 10 acres of designated wetlands for the construction of its data center near New Carlisle. There were people who showed up to a public meeting, though, at New Prairie High School Wednesday night to discuss why it's a bad idea, like John Hamilton.
This mindless destruction of one of the few remaining wetlands in this state at the behest of Bezos, one of the billionaires who is sucking up the wealth of this nation.
The Indiana Department of Environmental Management heard testimony from people, but no decisions were made. Indiana gas at $3.21 a gallon on average today, says Gas Buddy. Walk, bike, drive. This bridge allows you to do all of that. Johnette Cruz reports.
A new landmark is now open on Indianapolis's west side. City leaders and residents celebrated the unveiling of a state-of-the-art bridge spanning Fall Creek near 10th Street and Riley Hospital Drive. More than just a crossing, this 342-foot structure prioritizes people, dedicating over half of its space to wide walkways and protected bike lanes. Officials emphasize community collaboration and safety in the design, making it the first of its kind in the city. Reporting in Indianapolis, Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And today is the first day of the month of May, which means
the greatest spectacle in racing is coming. They call the Indianapolis Motor Speedway the Cathedral of Speed.
That's author and YouTuber John Green, who's from Indianapolis and talking about the Indianapolis 500 in a video posted to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway social media accounts. The 500 is May 25th, and you can hear the race right here on 93 WIBC. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Sundown Gardens, Hamilton County's spring nursery headquarters.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, I got a tongue twister for you.
Ooh, what's that?
Sue is Sue and Sue. Sue, Sue, and Sue.
Sue, Sue, and Sue. Spend and Sue.
So our old pal.
And sued by Sue.
This is wild. Our old pal, Spend and Sue Finkham, you know her, the mayor of Carmel.
Yeah.
She went to that Senate Bill 1 hearing and then insinuated that the firemen could be in big trouble if you got property tax relief. Of course, they had that $58.5 million taxpayer-funded hotel. That's not in trouble,
And
but the firemen could have been in trouble.
Right, but also millions and millions of dollars in that rainy day fund. By the way, they did do that contract with the firemen afterwards.
They did.
Yeah.
All the public safety.
All was well.
Although I don't think the council president knew because he had put out that big statement about how the public safety could be in trouble after they'd already done the deal with the public safety.
Correct.
So Carmel just can't seem to keep the story straight. However, the mayor of Carmel looks like is getting, this is according to Fox 59, who has a big in-depth report on this. The mayor of Carmel, Spend and Sue Finkham, getting sued by Susan S. McDermott, who was for defamation, filed a defamation lawsuit. And she was the former chairman of the Carmel Chris Kendall Market Incorporated. Casey, have you been to the Carmel Chris Kendall Market?
Yeah.
You've been there?
Yeah.
It's like this, what is it? It's like this winter wonderland type of thing, right?
I got hot chocolate.
Right in the heart of Carmel, right? You go and they had an ice skating rink, I think, didn't they? And you shops.
The big
and
windmill.
Yeah, it's like a Hallmark movie come to life. And this woman, Sue McDermott, Sue and Sue, Susan McDermott is suing Sue Finkham related to comments made. Well, I'll just read it. In the lawsuit, McDermott's team alleges, the legal team claims Finkham and company, quote, embarked on a systemic effort to willfully, wantonly, recklessly, maliciously, and or intentionally, I love the and/or, intentionally make false and defamatory statements regarding McDermott's professional reputation and attempt to justify Finkham's own actions with respect to the CCI. So, according to this article, basically, the city of Carmel had put some egregious amount of money under the previous mayor into this market. And like $8 million plus since I think it was 2017 to 2023. I mean, it was this huge money, which again, it's laughable when you see all the crap that goes on in Carmel that they would have been cutting public safety if you'd have gotten property tax relief. So they put all this money in. The lawsuit alleges that Finkham, the mayor, didn't want to put the money in anymore and also didn't like some of the board members. And then there was this big ruse to get rid of some of the board members. And this
replace them with Finkham's allies,
right?
People she wanted.
And then after all this went down, then she... listen to all these things they have in I love reading. I'll just read the thing as written. How about that? McDermott's attorneys have indicated that during an October 7th Carmel City Council meeting, Finkham falsely claimed that McDermott withheld CCI financial information from the city of Carmel. Per the complaint, Finkham also claimed McDermott withheld CCI financial information from the city of Carmel during October 21st council meeting. And according to McDermott's team, after the aforementioned meetings, Finkham, quote, proceeded to further defame McDermott and smear her professional reputation by posting the video of her comments on Finkham's personal and Carmel social media accounts and on Carmel's Fast Friday e-newsletter.
Yeah, so Finkham's accused of further defaming McDermott by sharing these council meeting videos and giving interviews repeating the same claims.
So whose team are we on here? Because, I mean, I hate to see a government have to give out money to people, but anybody that's against Sue Finkham, we got to almost cheer for them at some level, don't we?
Well, to me, it seems like it's a little bit of a power struggle that's going on here, and it's disguised as fiscal responsibility.
And it's long and it's in depth, and we're not going to go into detail on it. But really, we're talking about this because the thing that stood out to me was the financials of how much money. And remember, they were in the trinket store business too, right? Remember that thing came out about how much money the city was putting into this like souvenir place that was like you go and get a mug. Hey, I went to Carmel and all I got was this lousy coffee mug type of thing. Because it once again points out how much money these cities are putting into and towns are putting into things that have nothing to do with the day-to-day operations of you being able to drive or feel safe or secure or drink clean water or flush your toilets. The things that cities should be doing and towns should be doing, they're putting in all this other money. Then they're crying poverty if the idea of you getting property tax relief comes in front of them.
Yes, that is true. That is exactly what's happening here, Rob, is you can see from this lawsuit all of the money involved, and yet none for you.
Yeah.
It's fine if you want to go there and spend it.
Which it doesn't mean that there's not some validity to having amenities or attractions in communities if financially they make sense and the private sector wants to do them. By all means, have at it. But you don't get when you have a reflexive pool and a Palladium and a taxpayer-funded hotel and the Chris Kendall Market and the trinket shop and fake people on the street and the bison statues and all of these other things. You don't get to go, we're so poverty-stricken that the police and firemen are going to get cut if you get help.
We can't give you any relief on your property taxes because everything else is at jeopardy.
But it goes in all of these places. Think about the conversation they're having right now where I live in Warehouseburg. Well, we can't cut your taxes, but boy, howdy, we're going to strain every muscle in our body to figure out how to spend $100 million on a pool, and a rec center, and an amphitheater, or that $4 million empty patch of grass. Or let's go back to Hamilton County and Noblesville and the $36.5 million. I mean, they interviewed, I think the mayor of Noblesville was interviewed in that Indy Star article about the local income taxing. Now, none of these mayors are going to come out and say they're about to raise your income tax, but they're saying everything but that. However, Noblesville has $36.5 million laying around for a G League arena. It's not the Mad Ats anymore. They're the Boom now. The Pacers G League team. They're so proud. That is the dumbest name I've ever heard.
You don't like it?
That is so stupid. The Boom? Really? That's what you came up with?
Yeah.
But anyway, you got the stuff in Fishers, the hockey arena there. You got the stuff in Carmel. You got all this, it's everywhere.
Well, and their argument is, you know what? People here in Carmel, they don't mind paying this because that's what they want. They want to live here, and this is what they want. And that's fine. That's fine for those people that live in those communities. The problem is when you have the mayor of Carmel stand up at a hearing and she's speaking for every community across the state.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. So that's why we mentioned it. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know whose team to be on this because I don't know the full details. I want to be on the woman suing, but she was the head of that thing that took a bunch of taxpayer money. There really is no winner with this, right? I can't be on anybody's team, I don't think.
Okay. Well, we've got Nikki Kelly. She's going to join us coming up. You asked her last week when she joined us to pick winners and losers.
That's right. Nikki Kelly, one of the great reporters in Central Indiana, the Indiana Capital Chronicle. I said, now that the legislative session is done, help our people learn who were the big winners and who were the big losers.
Yep, she joins us next on 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
Why is there only 3 bourbons? Why isn't it 100 bourbons in 100 days?
Because you're not paying for it.
All right, that's still good, though.
That is Tara Hastings bringing you 100 bourbons.
I trust you.
Well, thank you for that ringing endorsement.
You're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, people like you.
If that is not in a WIBC promo by the end of the day, David Wood, program director, I'm firing everybody. I have no authority to fire anybody, but I'm doing it.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for my friends at We Grow Hair Indy. You know the Indy 500 is coming up. Lots of hats out there. For me, I say, why wear a hat when I have hair, thanks to my friends at We Grow Hair Indy. Call my friends at We Grow Hair Indy for your free evaluation today at 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. Or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com to see how other people have been able to ditch their hats and get their confidence back with a brand new head of hair. Get your hairline back, whether it's multi-unit hair grafting or their Artist Robotic FUE. We Grow Hair Indy has every proven solution to restore your hair. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com right now to get a free evaluation. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Call today, 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. And tell them Rob sent you.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are 2 very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. 317-480-4040. That's 317-480-4040.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here. If you were misled or lied to in any way when buying a timeshare, right now is your wake-up call. With the tariffs, economy tanking, and inflation rising, you might need to ask yourself this question. Is owning a timeshare a good idea? With all the economic uncertainty, You need to protect yourself and your family. Don't look back and say, if I'd have only got rid of that stupid timeshare they lied to me about. It's time to stop thinking about canceling your timeshare and finally get rid of it and be smart with your money. At Wesley Financial Group, we've saved 48,000 families an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare permanently or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331.
Hi, friends. This is Patty Spittler with Pet Pals TV. You know, I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, but the telephone can intimidate me. Because of my hearing loss, I can't hear well on a regular telephone. Now, with my caption telephone, I'm making contacts in a busy world. My caption telephone through Relay Indiana allows me to read what the other person is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com to learn more about the caption telephone. Read what you're hearing.
It's spring in Indianapolis, and the air is bright with birdsong and re-emerging life. But you can hear something else downtown, or rumbling along the banks of the White River. The greatest spectacle in racing is coming. For me and 400,000 annual pilgrims like me, that distant roar we hear brings a smile that lasts the whole month of May. This is Speed City. Welcome to May.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Oh, Mexico, you sound so simple, I just got to go.
Casey, it's time to talk to one of the best in the business about the 2025 legislative session that was.
Yeah, I got to imagine at this point she's probably wanting to take a day or two off or go to a beach somewhere.
I think she's getting ready to go somewhere nice, and it's well-deserved. Nobody covers the Indiana State House like the Indiana Capitol Chronicle, and the head honcho over there is our great friend, one of the best reporters in the business, Nikki Kelly. She joins us now. Nikki Kelly, hello.
Morning.
Okay, so first of all, I've got to say, obviously on Tuesday, we went and saw Gabe Whitley sentenced in the federal courtroom, and Casey Smith had a phenomenal piece. By the way, I have no idea how she writes that fast. She was doing direct quotes. She did it all by hand. She should be that court reporter person because that's unbelievable that she was able to get those quotes that fast. But I wanted to say thank you to you guys at the Capitol Chronicle, because when we first uncovered what Gabe was doing, you were one of the first people I reached out to, and you listened and you guys dug into this. And I really think it was your article that got a lot of people, other news agencies covering this. And I think you guys deserve a lot of the credit because you really shone the light on what was going on.
Well, thanks. I mean, obviously, he had a history in Evansville, and it was, I think, very important. And I honestly think that, if that article hadn't come out, you might have seen a different result in the election. So, important work.
Yeah, so thank you for doing that. So your premise of joining us today, last week I had said, nobody covers the State House like you. Can you pick a couple of big winners and losers from the 2025 Indiana General Assembly? And you said, absolutely, I am up to the task.
I am. But right before I head off to Vegas, I did hear you guys say that. So I'll be going to Vegas where I can bet on the Derby and maybe watch the Pacers game.
That's right. Very good. Well, it's a well-deserved vacation. All right, let's start with the biggest winners. In your mind, Nikki Kelly, if you were to say this is the biggest winner, or amongst the top 1, 2, or 3, who made out like bandits in the legislative session?
I have to say businesses. They're going to get big property tax cuts, and they also managed to keep a declining corporate tax decrease that was already scheduled in law despite huge revenue issues. The Chamber of Commerce even got their cigarette tax increase. So I would say businesses were the biggest winner that I could find. I would give homeowners like half a win because they are going to pay less property taxes, and that's not nothing. But there were no changes to assessment rules, and so the issue of your assessment and how fast it grows is still, out there as a thorn.
Let's come back to what you said the big winner was, and I would agree with you. I think that's most sessions, the businesses are the big winners, or many sessions, they are the big winners. Why again? Why this time? Because the Braun plan on property taxes really wasn't at all about businesses. It was about homeowners. And in the end, this bill that didn't even get a hearing in the House, 1402, until Senate Bill 1 came back to the Senate, ends up having all this business stuff in it. Why did they focus so much on the businesses again?
Well, I mean, the fact is business personal property tax has been a goal to eliminate for a decade or so. And so that's not new. And also, while Braun came in with the property tax plan, you also have to remember that there was already a plan to look at tax reform. There was a 2-year study of which they looked at business taxes. So it wasn't in a vacuum. It didn't, come out of nowhere. But this was an opportunity, and they saw it and took it.
You guys had a piece in the Capitol Chronicle, which we talked at length about yesterday about, and by the way, this is why you guys are the best in terms of covering the State House. Nobody does it better than you guys in terms of hard news. And you had a great little expose on what lived and what died in the final hours of the legislative session. And you were talking about the business personal property tax exemption, which now is not going to happen next year. They're saying it's going to be 2 years out. And Chris Jeter, who's a state rep from Fishers, who's a rising star in the Republican Party, he didn't seem to think that it was all that guaranteed that it's going to actually go. Do you believe that will actually be this $2 million exemption in 2 years? Now that they've kicked it down the road for a year, do you think it's actually going to actually become a thing?
I think, that one, it's going to be tight. I think a lot of very credible issues popped up. The main being that a lot of communities bond on this revenue, and they already have long-term bonds on the books. And so if suddenly you're going to raise it, to that $2 million or even the $1 million for the first year was the plan, there was a concern from bondholders about whether they could make those payments. And I think that became really serious enough to eliminate the first year. And I think they're going to try to get some more information in the interim and see if they can move forward with it in the second year.
Nikki Kelly is our guest from the Indiana Capitol Chronicle. Real quick, just one more question on this. And this is, I think, what's frustrating to people like me. That's an obvious thing if you've been in local government, that local governments do bond off of, in large part, business personal property tax. We have all this debate, all this discussion. It's a fairly obvious thing. And then at the last minute, they act like, well, we didn't even think about this. Like, how do you go through all of this and then that's not something that's right on the radar, like at the tippy top of the things we're going to be discussing?
Look, I assume they thought of it, but maybe cities came out with more bonds than they expected to show them how, the real impact. I'm not positive on that. I mean, similarly, they made changes on the farmland ag base and the veterans credit. I mean, I personally am going to reach out to LSA because I don't even know, I hope they update the Senate Bill 1 fiscal, because I don't even know how much relief was given now.
Zero without that. Zero, Nikki Kelly, zero.
Yeah, because the relief is now changed in a secondary bill. I mean, it makes it very messy.
Nikki Kelly, real quick, and then I'm going to let Casey pop in. Who would you say is the biggest loser of the legislative session?
Ooh, loser. I am going to say, I think schools took a pretty bad hit. They lose property taxes. They don't have the ability to really raise income taxes like others. They also took hits on sharing referendum revenue. They didn't at all. Their increases for operations don't keep up with inflation. So I would say schools took a big hit. I would also say gaming lobbyists big losers. You know, they really came in thinking we could move forward with the interactive or electronic gaming and some other expansions, and those got halted pretty quickly.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you about the latest article that you've got on the Indiana Capitol Chronicle website, the Indiana Economic Development Foundation, releasing their annual audits on Governor Braun's demand. What did we find within those audits?
I mean, they introduced very basic how much money we've taken in, how much money we spent, which, mind you, is more than we've had in the last 6 or 8 years. But I'm hoping there's still lots more to come. We, you know, just saying, well, they raised $13 million and they spent $10 million, you know, mostly on travel. Okay. What I really want to know is where exactly did the money come from, and that we still might not know. And how, you know, how much did they really spend? Like, how much on each trip? Is anyone making salaries? You know, what are their administrative expenses? So, I mean, I'm hoping that there are going to be further details as we move in. But that was a good start, and it's more than we've seen in recent years. So
now
Go ahead.
This is just the foundation, different from the corporation. Were you surprised at the large amount of money spent on travel? $13 million.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little higher than I thought, though these are all international trips, and they're not just one person. They're big delegations. So, I mean, I knew it would be high. You can't be jetting off to Ireland and Belgium and Germany and, you know, all these major places with the governor and family and friends and, you know, and not have it cost them some real cash.
Hey, before we let you go, it kind of ties back to your winners and losers, and it all ties in really to this property tax bill. I've talked to people in both the municipal side from the standpoint of cities and towns. I've talked to people from schools. They all say we have no idea what this bill actually does or how it's going to impact us. Do you think next year, I mean, normally during a non-budget session, big money issues aren't front and center. Do you think there's a real chance they're going to have to unwind or undo or redo a bunch of this based on unforeseen stuff?
Yeah, I think they'll probably do some massaging in the short session. And when we say non-budgetary items in a non-budget session, we're really talking about state dollars. So this is not state dollars, and they'll move forward if they feel like they need to make tweaks to that, definitely.
Well, we want to thank you again for all your work on the Gabe Whitley saga, at least on the federal side. A bow's been put on that. You guys were a huge part of that, and thank you for all your coverage of the Indiana General Assembly. Nobody does it like you guys, and so we appreciate all the Indiana Capitol Chronicle does.
Thanks a lot, guys. We love coming on, and we'll keep in touch with you through the non-session time.
Yeah, have fun in Vegas, by the way.
I will.
Well deserved. It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What's coming up next? I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Storms rolled through Indiana on Wednesday.
We did have quite a few severe storms down in south central and southwestern Indiana. The worst of the storms produced hail a little over golf ball size down near Lagodi.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says more rain is possible across the next few days. A man who fell from the outfield wall at PNC Park in Pittsburgh during Wednesday night's game between the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates is seriously hurt. He fell more than 20 feet and landed in the right outfield. Investigators believe it was likely an accident. And a kangaroo named Sheila is back home after she escaped from her enclosure and caused a minor car accident in Alabama. She was eventually captured by state troopers and her owner. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Mother's Day is almost here. Miss M's Home and Garden is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. State Road 135 in Burgersville.
My name's Craig Landers. I'm a union laborer for Look 120, and I'm a member of the Veteran Steering Committee and been retired for 7 years.
For members of the Laborers International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community.
I like to help veterans and family downtown. Part of the building burnt down that housed the veterans that lived there. So we donated money to help out. They lost everything they had. I mean, they didn't have much, but they lost what they did have.
When the Indy community needs help, LIUNA steps up.
People bring in clothes and shoes and food. We had a couple car shows and donated the proceeds to the Veteran Suicide Prevention.
This is Chris Bricky, Business Manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
Pretty good to help them guys out. That's a good feeling to help people out.
We build Indy for good jobs and stronger communities. We are LIUNA Local 120.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
What are you reading? What's got your attention?
I was just preparing for this next story we're about to do.
Okay, got it.
Like you, why does that surprise you?
It doesn't. I was just curious. You look like you were, your attention was averted, like you were way into something.
Well, I don't understand this thing with Bill Belichick because you're old. I mean, not like old in the sense of like one foot on the grave, another foot on the banana peel, but you're the most famous successful football coach, arguably of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You're 70 plus years old. You don't have to take anybody's crap. Why are you letting some 24-year-old girl mouth you around?
Right.
I don't understand. Like you're rich. You could get any chick you want, basically, who will tolerate you for the right amount of money, and you can tell her when to talk and when not. And it's like now it's coming out that this dude is letting his mouthy 24-year-old girlfriend, who's 50 years younger than him, call all the shots. That's ridiculous. You look ridiculous.
So he sat down with CBS and they were doing an interview. It was supposed to be about his book. And in the interview, she was there. She was off camera for most of it, but she was there. And as you mentioned, she was dictating the shots. Let's review.
Make sure that that's the...
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
Okay, so now Bill Belichick, he has come out and he's defending her. And he's saying that Jordan Hudson, that's her name, she was just doing her job by stepping in to redirect the interview away from personal questions.
So that's her. So he's sleeping with the woman who's 50 years younger than him, and her job is to help him do interviews. He's been a professional football coach. What? He's been a head coach for 30 plus years. He was a coach a long time before that. He doesn't know how to do an interview. He needs her to help him do an like, get out of here. Okay, this is going to come off the wrong way, so whatever. This is why women should not get involved in men's business. Cav, you're laughing. Look at what happened to the Beatles. Who brought down the Beatles?
It complicates things.
Who brought down the Beatles?
Yeah, Yoko.
Yoko Ono. The Beatles were fine. And then John Lennon got up on the ladder and looked at the word, and she touched all the right buttons, and bye-bye Beatles. This is how many times in human history, in the history of this country, have we seen great men doing great things, and then it all gets ripped apart by some woman getting involved in his business.
Okay, now he admittedly says he doesn't do the social media thing. That's all new to him. He doesn't really care. Like, things are being posted about him, but he doesn't look at the comments or any of that. Do you think he was trying to take her advice to get a younger person's point of view in this interview? Is that what her job was?
No, Casey. Her quote-unquote job is she touches him in all the right places. And for some, they pretend like she does something other than that. Now, I don't.
She makes his heart beat faster.
Yeah, that's it.
Warm and fuzzy.
Ain't no woman worth dealing with that. You're Bill Belichick, and you're letting some 24-year-old broad get mouthy and dictate how you do interviews and what you do. Part of being, what is he? Is he 73?
Is he? There's a 49-year age
Okay,
gap
he's
between.
73 because she's 24. Part of being 73 and the most famous football coach and successful football coach of all time is you ain't got to listen to anybody.
He said that CBS did some selective editing and misrepresented their 35-minute conversation by showing only the last 8 minutes.
This is what, look.
And they were trying to lead the viewer down the road that she's controlling.
And maybe I'm a little bitter about this because it happened to my guy too. Bruce Springsteen did one of the most famous, greatest albums, highest-selling albums of all time, Born in the USA. Put his goofy, what became his wife in the band. We went, what'd we do, 85 to 2002. The Twin Towers had to go down so we could get a decent album out of that guy again after he put his wife in the band. The women should not be involved in the men folk working. Great relationships at home, fine. Separation of powers. What Seinfeld say? Worlds colliding.
Worlds colliding.
And it's happening to this guy. She follows him around on the field. She follows him around in the stadium. She's dictating what he says in interviews. Why is he allowing this to happen?
So he said that she was there just to keep the segment back on track because the interview was supposed to be, the preconditions of the interview was that it's going to focus on the book. And the reporter started going down the relationship question road, and that's when she stepped in. We're not talking about this.
Okay, let's work this out here, Case. I'll be the interviewer. You be you, okay?
Okay.
Casey, you have a new book out about your #1 highly rated radio program. I see your husband's here today. How did you guys meet?
Oh, we met at a radio station.
How hard was that?
Right.
No, you try it. I'll be the I'll be me and you be the interviewer.
Rob, we're here today talking about your passion for property tax relief for Hoosiers.
Yes.
And I noticed that your beautiful wife is joining you today. How did you guys meet?
You know, we actually met right here at the radio station, Casey. How hard was that? They act like they asked him his social security number or something. I mean, like something is way off about this. And she is like, why he's letting her do this, I don't know. Why she cares about, why she's so guarded about how they met. Like, this is just sad to see this happen.
Daily Mail was reporting that his friends are now curious about how he's doing.
Elder abuse.
Right. Is this a controlling, manipulative relationship?
This is going to be like Casey Kasem. If she's still with him when he kicks the bucket, there's going to end up being some big fight or something about his estate. You watch. See, and you know what this is doing? It's taking people like Kevin, who have such an opportunity in life to have a great life and a great spouse and someone who loves them and cares for them and build a family. And he sees this and he goes, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. It's ruining it for people like Kevin. And I'm not going to let her. I'm not going to let this angry, mean-spirited broad ruin the potential life that could be in front of Kevin.
I have to ask you, just because I have to. Can you, what is men folk work and what is women folk work? Is there...
How many women are the head coach of football teams in the National Football League, Casey?
He's not a head coach
How
anymore.
many women are head coaches of football team, Division I college football coaches? How many women?
Okay. See,
that's men folk work.
Okay.
If it's all women doing it, it's women folk work. If it's all men doing it, it's don't try to turn this into some sort of sexist thing. It's obvious. If it's all men doing it, it's men work. If it's all women doing it, it's women work. And that is men folk work.
So did you see that she has now amassed $8 million in a real estate portfolio, and this is just months after meeting him?
What did she do before that?
Well, isn't that a good question, Rob?
Was she a real estate broker?
Was she?
I don't know. I'm asking
How did they meet? What was she doing? Where did they meet?
We should ask Mark Dietel how many 24-year-olds amass $8 million in a real estate portfolio. You know, because he's one of the best realtors in all the darn land, much less the state. And he's been at it a long time. We should ask him. We should have him on and ask how many 24-year-olds can amass $8 million in a real estate portfolio.
Well, it does raise some questions about the intersection there of personal relationships and financial opportunities. And here's another thing that I wanted to point out, that when he came out and he said that CBS Sports was doing selective editing, he did that on like the school's letterhead with the logos and everything. This was like, it was like an official statement.
Dude.
Involving the school now.
I'm sure Bill Belichick will never hear this, but if someone can get this message to him. Dude, you are the most famous football coach of all time. You're arguably the most successful football coach of all time. You're worth a gajillion dollars. You're 73 years old. Stop letting this little girl boss you around.
How do you feel about him wearing that torn up sweatshirt during the interview? He looked a little disheveled.
He always looks a little disheveled.
So that's on brand for him?
He always looks like he just crawled out of a sewer somewhere.
So if he's got the I don't care attitude,
right?
Why now does he care if people know how they met? Why now is he saying they were doing selective editing?
Yeah, it may be good, buddy, and I'm not judging that, but it ain't that good. No matter how good it is, it ain't that good.
Okay, so there's a new study that came out that says the new social revolution sweeping America, staying in. This is right up Rob Kendall's alley. We're going to talk about that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Rob Kendall's going to flip out and go off the rails. The biggest stories in Indy and a whole lot of fun. 93 WIBC.
It's May in Indiana, and I'm betting the floors in your home would appreciate a good cleaning. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and there is no better go-to resource for cleaning those floors than Zero Res. They can handle virtually every surface in your home. Carpets, tile and grout, hardwood, laminate, stone, upholstery, rugs, even your air ducts. Before we get any closer to summer, you can get 3 rooms Zero Resified for just $129, and you can take $75 off air duct cleaning too. Zero Res means zero residue, and it's the water they use. They don't need soap or solvents to really clean your surfaces. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, just healthy, fresh surfaces. Zero Res cleans our floors, and I'll tell you that it is simply amazing, and it works. Don't take my word for it. Just check out 4,900 plus 5-star Google reviews. Call now, mention WIBC, get 3 rooms cleaning starting at just $129 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141, online at zeroresindy.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
Summer heat is coming. Will your air conditioner be ready? Don't risk an expensive breakdown. A quick tune-up from B&W catches problems early and keeps your family cool and comfortable. Join thousands of Hoosiers who trust B&W. Call 317-214-0108 or go to bplusw.com today.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel all this week for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Sancio Grand Prix on Saturday, May 10th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. More info at WIBC.com.
In my letter to you, all the hard things I found out. In my letter.
Rob, do you remember when Friday nights meant getting dressed up and going out, hitting the town, having a good time? I've heard you say many times, you out with me, you out till 3.
I'd like to clarify, though, I never got dressed up.
Oh.
You're checking most of those boxes. What all the other ones would apply, but I don't want to lie to our audience. I was never ever dressed up.
Okay, but it was still you out with me, you out till 3.
That's correct. Oh boy, howdy! Sometimes 3:30, sometimes 4.
Yeah, many a good nights in Broad Ripple. Well, a recent survey said that most Americans now prefer the comfort of their living rooms versus the buzz of nightlife.
So I do wonder. Obviously, I am now in this equation because I'm a 40-year-old man and married and have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer in my 20s or, in my case, 30s.
30s, right.
Single and whatever, right? But I do wonder for people who fit the description of the sort of people who would be out and about on a Friday evening or Saturday evening, or some people Thursday evenings, or some Wednesdays. I mean, some it was a 7-day-a-week sort of gig.
You never know, right?
How much COVID and what became behavioral norms during COVID have just sustained us several years later.
Yeah, I think that has something to do with it. Probably the price of things you would think has something to do with it. But I'm going to actually break down some of the stats from this survey because we're close, but that's not all of it. 47% said that they would rather just stay at home with a group of friends rather than go out. Part of it is because they can hear the conversation better.
Oh.
They want to be able to actually engage.
Oh, they're actually interested in what people have to say.
Right. It's not just about how they look. It's about what they say.
Boy, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Huh? They don't care about how people look?
Right,
What?
exactly.
What?
They don't notice people's appearances. Another big key point in the survey was that they can control the environment this way.
Uh-huh.
And that means...
What does that mean?
Whether it's smoking, non-smoking...
right.
The temperature, how many screens they're exposed to, and just overall kind of the environment that they're in. Is it indoor? Is it outdoor? Is it loud? Is it quiet? Just everything about it. The smells.
Right. But okay, and I get that. But part of, and we've had this conversation before, I really fear we are, especially for your daughter's generation, Kevin, I think, is probably her generation, although he's kind of in between her and me, that
he's on the older side of her generation. Yeah.
We have really stymied the ability to have meaningful, any sort of sizable scale social interaction. And that's not a good thing. I think people need to experience the idea. Look, I'm not saying you got to, drink yourself onto the floor. But I'm saying the idea of being able to go out and in some way navigate social settings in which you don't control the complete environment, that's part of humaning. And this data seems to say we're doing less and less of that.
That's really interesting point because there are so many people who are triggered by everything that you have to be able to overcome some of those triggers and just be in society.
Yeah, and that was always part of the fun for me was the idea that I am going to go out into this world and I'm going to engage in this thing tonight where I know I'm not being thrown into a lion's den or a shark's tank, but there is some level of excitement to which, while I have either one or two close friends I'm going out with, you don't know what or who you're going to encounter or where that
crazy night's going to
take you, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of the unknown.
It could end at midnight. It could end at 3. You could meet somebody who will be a future partner. You could meet no one. Like, that was part of the fun. Now, I'm I used to be a very social person, so it was easy for me. And also, rejection didn't bother me at all. But that's why I'm good at this job, right? You can be as mean as you want to be on Twitter. It doesn't bother me. And that's, but I guess for a lot of people who sort of had to participate in these things in a previous world, they've been given this level of acceptance or acceptability now to not do it because COVID normalized
staying in. Yeah, absolutely. So when they do stay in, the average get together, if you're going to have friends over, lasts 3 hours and 24 minutes.
Oh, wow.
The top things that they talk about, some of the top conversation topics, gossip about friends and family.
Yeah.
News or politics is also another one. But it's not just they're staying home talking. Some of the things they'd like to do is have dinner parties, movie nights, game nights, and then TV watch parties.
That all sounds awful.
You think so?
Well,
for 3 hours and 24 minutes?
You know, I mean, it's like when you and your husband come over to my house, what do? We crush a few brews. We talk about politics. Jim
There's
and I talk
normally
about
a sporting
sports.
event going on.
Right. I mean, that's all. It's all basically like a social. It's basically like we're going to a bar, but we're in a house, right? There's no all that other stuff you reeled off just sounds. Or that was the other thing about going out. If whatever engagement you were in didn't go well, you could just move on.
Right. You could leave.
It could be 1 minute. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 1 hour. You got to dictate based on the pleasurability of the person to which you were engaging.
Yeah, can you imagine that we're over at your place and the conversation is hitting a low? I just look at Jim and, well, we got to go. I mean, like, what do you do in that awkward sort of situation, right?
Yeah, that's my point. So I don't know. I mean, this does not surprise me, but I do think, without sounding like some old man who yells at clouds, I don't think this is good for younger people to not be socializing in large environments at least every so often.
Did you ever have a code word? Did you and Gabrielle ever have a code word?
Like, we got to go?
Like, we got to go, or
here's the thing.
Like save me, help.
I met my wife during COVID, right? Or right at the onset of COVID. So we've never really been go out people because we were married shortly after what we would kind of describe as the COVID shutdown era ended. And obviously you were super restricted during. My coworker has always been our friend. So it was Mock and her husband. Now it's you and your husband.
Look at us.
Those are the only friends we ever have. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the common denominator.
Well, you are the friendships that you keep. So by my standards, you're all right. You're all right.
All right. Well, tell your daughter to get out and about. We've tried to tell Kevin. He won't listen to us. But now we can go home.
All right. We are going to get out and about, out of the studio anyway. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Pierce Jewelers has a beautiful, warm, and friendly showroom, and their showcase of estate jewelry is constantly changing. They're always purchasing and looking for new, old treasures, and your fine jewelry may be worth more than you think. The staff at Pierce Jewelers, a trusted name since 1968, will help you understand and evaluate your memorable pieces, and they'll make sure you receive superb service and expert counsel. They'll guide you through the process, explain each piece, and why the item's value is a certain amount. No appointment needed, but there are times they'll need to take in your items to further examine and evaluate them. Pierce Jewelers doesn't charge for this process, nor is there any requirement for you to sell your items. Pierce Jewelers will make sure you receive a competitive price for your valuables, and you'll walk away knowing you've received their best and honest offer. Call Pierce Jewelers today at 317-574-3333 to learn more about selling your jewelry and other valuable precious items.
Hey, it's Matt Baer for Cochran Exteriors. Don't wait to beautify your home for summer for a fresh new look and increased home value. New siding by Cochran Exteriors is the answer. From James Hardy fiber cement siding to a big array of vinyl siding colors and styles, the experienced pros at Cochran have all the choices, plus a lifetime workmanship warranty and over 10,000 satisfied customers. For your free estimate, call Cochran Exteriors at 317-ROOFING or visit CochranExteriors.com. Tell them I sent you.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Spring is here, and Dammons is full speed ahead with endless plant production of perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, roses, and planters. Trucks are arriving with fresh trees and shrubs. Dammons' friendly staff is ready to assist you and get you the help you need. So for any of your gardening needs, experience Dammons South on Emerson Avenue and Dammons West on Rockville Road.
Dammons Lawn and Garden, Indiana's most complete garden center.
I gave it a shot, and I came in and had the procedure done. To me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
So today, scattered showers are going to continue.
I'm not going to get ahead of what the president may or may not say later today.
Sad accident. Accidents do happen.
Thinking about what you're saying before it comes out.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Not done with the rain yet.
It's mostly cloudy and 69 degrees in the capital city. I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. As for a look at what lies ahead with Indiana weather.
So today, scattered showers are going to continue, and then we have a chance for a few strong to severe storms later this afternoon and evening as the main front pushes through.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says off and on rain continues through the weekend as well. There were a couple of tornado warnings issued Wednesday night in southern Indiana.
The Trump administration is not yet talking about reports that Mike Waltz is out as national security advisor, but